One. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim. Big news day. Nowadays, there are so many fairly big news days that they're starting to all run into each other. Almost every other day, something big is coming out in the news. So obviously, I believe everyone that is at least somewhat involved in politics, that pays attention to the political theater, is aware of what is taking place today, and that is the Supreme Court ruling that President Trump does have at least some immunity in regards to what took place on January 6th. So it is another big news day, and it is a big win for Trump. I don't think there's any way to deny that what happened today is beneficial to President Trump. Keep in mind, if you do receive messages from Trump, yours truly I do, 880-22-808-10. Those are the text message numbers that come from the Trump campaign. He's taking all sorts of victory laps in regards to what happened today. So Trump certainly is celebrating the Supreme Court's ruling. Now, I want to talk to you folks, and I want to hear what your opinion is on it. I will give you a quick spiel. I believe there's good news and bad news in it for liberals, and good news and bad news in it for Maga, or for Trump and his supporters. The biggest winner, in my humble opinion, is Trump. No denying. The biggest winner is Trump. And I'm talking about suggesting that the biggest winner is Trump, even though there are two other groups, and that those other groups being right-leaning voters and voters that represent the left. You got Trump, you got right-leaning voters and left-leaning voters. I think Trump is the biggest winner of all. Reason why I suggest that is it helps shield Trump from prosecution that could lead to him, I want to say serving time, but certainly being convicted. The more these cases are delayed, the better it helps Trump. Even if he loses in November, considering that he's almost 80 years old, every delay helps. I mean, just delay, it helps. I mean, let's say, for instance, Biden wins in November. As time goes on, the undying appetite to have Trump thrown in jail by many on the left, it will start to wane off. If Trump is no longer a threat, and I'm here suggesting this because some of the case with Trump, it is politically based, just like Hunter Biden. If Joe Biden wasn't around for president, I think the appetite to convict Hunter Biden would be reduced. And that will happen with Trump. If he can delay these cases a couple years or something ridiculous like that, 2 years from now, people, and if he was to lose the election, I'm not saying he's going to lose, but let's say he didn't win in November, and he was able to delay these cases for a couple years, the appetite to lock him up would be nowhere near as strong as it is right now. So these delays are incredibly beneficial for Trump. Trump is by far today's winner. I believe also, in regards to the other two groups and liberals on the side, I think this may be a little bit beneficial more for liberals. You know why I say that? Trump is running on giving us an economy that is much better than the one under Biden. Most Americans believe Trump would be much better at dealing with the economy. A lot of folks believe the economy right now sucks when they look at their bottom line, their grocery bill, what they're paying at the pump. That is what Trump is running on. Reelect me, I can give you a better economy. In addition to that, the border and suggesting that he could end wars. But the economy is Trump's biggest aspect of his campaign. Biggest aspect of Biden's campaign is that Trump is a threat to democracy. And that would include, rolling back abortion rates, shoving Christianity down the throats of truth, rolling America to a far right direction. The reason why I say that Trump wins today and potentially the liberals is because the argument that if Trump is elected, democracy might be in peril certainly receives some validity with the Supreme Court ruling this way. The Supreme Court has pretty much given Trump, if he is reelected, a lot more power, clearly forgiving him for whatever they may have charged him with on January 6th. So I do believe that the right, or better yet the left, saying that you need to vote this way, because democracy may be in peril. The Supreme Court has helped strengthen that argument to some degree. And I would suggest that also folks voting for the economy may see, even if you're on the right, even if you support Trump and that's who you want, I'm assuming many on the right would think getting a stronger Supreme Court majority would be more important than $2 gas, right? So the Supreme Court picks are far more important at this point than getting an economy, because at the end of the day, Trump's economy is only going to 4 years, 6 years. Economies come and go. Those Supreme Court justices could be around for 40 years or more. So right now, that's probably the number one issue people should be voting. I don't know how that's being passed around, but I want to talk to you folks, so we could start the program out that way, asking that question. Do you agree that the SCOTUS ruling was a big win for Trump? And asking a secondary question, I want to get your opinion, and I want to know why. That's how we do it. Do you trust the Supreme Court? Do you believe the Supreme Court in its current state is a credible institution, whether you're on the right or the left? I'm going to ask you that question. Program is, always will be MAGA friendly. Been that way since day one, always have been, always will be. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. Tap the screen, 600 of you in here, get the likes up to about 15,000. Same on YouTube. Appreciate you folks tuned in. So looking in the comments, I agree. Okay, I pray you get what you deserve and you will never be, wait a minute. I pray you get what you deserve and you will be one of them never. Michael, I have no clue what you're even trying to say there. Explain black jobs. The black jobs thing is very comical. I think we know what Trump means. I really think we do, but it is a comical way to say it. As an independent voter, Biden and the Democrats have lost all credibility with me, says Bosa. I would like to hear you elaborate on it. You listen, I don't believe in block banning or censoring anybody. You don't have to agree with anybody in the comments section. You do not have to agree with yours truly. This is an uncensored format. So state your point. What did Biden do to lose credibility? I'd be curious to know. Looking at it, by the way, when I asked, do you believe the Supreme Court has lost credibility? Simple. You got two of the wives of Alito and Clarence Thomas clearly deeply involved with the Trump campaign. Remember the Alvin Bragg case in New York? The first thing they were bringing up is the judge's daughter donated money to the Liberal Party. Just donated and worked with liberals. These folks have Trump's personal number. The wife of Clarence Thomas was in direct contact with the Trump campaign. So I'm asking, do you believe the Supreme Court still has credibility in your eyes? And this could even be if they're ruling in your favor. But so I want to ask you folks, looking in the box, we'll continue to start the program right off with Moo, the tuxedo cat, starting the program off. Moo, good afternoon.
What's up, man? What's going on?
It's been a big day, man. The Supreme Court suggesting that Trump does have some immunity from January 6th. What say you?
I mean, their ruling is pretty much what I thought was in line with how we've been treating presidents all along, right? Because Bush did plenty of war crimes, and they complained because it was within presidential capacity. It was within his presidential job to do those things, and he's immune from it. So this ruling doesn't really help Trump at all in his cases, because those cases aren't about anything he did within his office. They were not official presidential acts. So this ruling doesn't help Trump at all in his cases. Is it still a shitty ruling? Sure, it's a shitty ruling, because really you don't want anybody in this country to have immunity, right? Like, I don't even agree with cops having qualified immunity. So, you know, but
I have to ask you,
overall, it's not going to help Trump.
Well, first of all, when you say it's not going to help Trump, the fact that they took this and took several months to rule on it already has helped Trump.
Oh, yeah, sure, but that's the delay. We're talking, sure, the delays help him put it off, right? Because if he wins the election, which I believe if Biden doesn't get replaced, that he will win at this point, then yeah, but really he doesn't need the ruling if he wins, right? Because he can just dismiss federal cases if he wins the presidency, so. you know.
Well, that's an interesting point. So let's say, for instance, Jack Smith had gotten a conviction on Trump. We know that'll certainly not happen before Election Day. But let's say for shits and giggles it did, and Trump still won because he could be running for president while incarcerated. Does he get the ability while he's in jail to then let himself out?
Yeah, I mean, you get to pardon yourself, right? I mean, the Supreme Court would have to rule on it, but you know how they're going to rule at this point. We can see how they're going to rule on things like this, right? It's going to be the same split they always get. What, 3-6 or 3-7, whatever the fuck it is at this point.
But it's 6-3. But then that goes back to my second question. Do you trust the credibility of the Supreme Court?
No, I mean, they just ruled that state officials can take gifts now, gifts and bribes legally, man. So we're locally fucked and federally fucked at this point, right?
Yeah.
Our election system may as well not exist at this rate right now because your politicians are being bribed left and right. It's in both parties, right? This is why my agenda is to fill the Democrat Party with progressives, right? Because progressives do not take bribes. We don't take corporate money. And that's how you're going to fix America. That's how you put America first, right? Not by electing Joe Biden, not by electing Donald Trump, but by electing a progressive populist who does not take corporate money and will complete the agenda that's really for the middle class.
Now, I want to ask you, this is somewhat on topic, somewhat off. Jeffrey Davis on YouTube said Trump won't go to jail. If they throw him in jail, they will martyr him. Do you think there's some validity to that?
So this is coming from people who couldn't raid a Capitol, right? They forgot to bring their Second Amendment with them, right? They're so inept and so incapable, and all they ever do is brag about the Second Amendment. Yet when the time came, push to shove, they didn't bring their little toys with them, and then MGT had to tell them how to properly take over a government building, which is really cool that a congresswoman is telling insurrectionists how to take over a government facility, right?
Wow.
That's very cool.
Wow. So fair enough. So what do you think about my opening monologue that Biden is running on maintaining democracy, and the notion that how the Supreme Court ruling came down today may strengthen the voters for Biden, because it does, as you're talking about, it does look like anything that goes to the Supreme Court on behalf of Trump is kind of predictable that it may end up going his way.
Yeah, I mean, what's your question in there? I'm sorry.
Let's just say, for instance, if Trump takes anything to the Supreme Court, do you believe that they may possibly be ruling in his favor, where he's more likely to win a case going to this before the Supreme Court?
So if they can spin it in a way where it doesn't make them look horribly biased, but they can rule in his favor, they will.
Yeah.
And I think as long as they can spin it in such a way that it doesn't come off blatantly ridiculous to the American public, that they will try to weasel in whatever favors they can for him, right? And at this point, they're probably taking gifts and bribes from his people because that's legal now. That's
how
legal.
can
You guys can take all the bribes and gifts you want.
So now I know you mentioned that Biden would lose to Trump, but maybe somebody like Bernie Sanders or somebody could beat him. But I have to ask you, if you're admitting that anything that Trump takes to the Supreme Court that can be spun with a little bit of decency, Trump is liable to win. Let's say Trump loses the election in November, but they can make decent, even if it's bullshit, they can make decent arguments to challenge certain voters or certain districts and try to get votes to be thrown out.
You already have your answer. You have your answer to that question already. Look at what happened to Gore. You have your answer already. So the Republican Party is the only party in American history that used the Supreme Court to already steal an election. This has already happened. Guys, hey, wake up, guys. The Republican Party has already stolen an election before, guys. This has already happened before. So yeah, could the Republican Party use the Supreme Court to steal another election? The answer to that is yes. We already have before. This has happened already.
So then you got to admit, even if we put somebody else in there other than Biden, it's kind of bleak at this point, right?
Well, let's think about this, right? Why do I want them to put a populist in? Why do I want them to put a progressive instead of Biden? Because a progressive will pack the court. A progressive will codify Roe versus Wade for you people. A progressive will fight against fascism for you. A progressive will pack the shit out of that court and decimate the conservative agenda. Biden's not going to do that for you.
I got to disagree. DJ Julio with that Galaxy, appreciate it. Damn, thank you. I got to disagree with you on progressive would pack the court and Biden won't do it. I think at this point, any Democrat that wins is going to codify Roe v. Wade or codify abortion rights. I think that's coming from anywhere in the left.
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. If Biden was going to pack the court, he would have done so already.
No, not pack the court. Not pack the court. Yeah. I'm saying in terms of codifying Roe v. Wade or abortion rights. I think any Democrat.
Wait. No. That's not going to happen because you have. So let's say the Congress and the Senate stay the same, just for sake of argument.
Well, then you can't.
You have a yeah, exactly, right? So you can't. So how do you do that then? You pack the fucking court, right? You go around Congress, you circumvent them because they're not going to do what you need them to do. This is not play nice with Republicans anymore, right? Women are dying. I'm sorry, being unalived. Doctors are going to be thrown in jail. You don't play nice with these kinds of people, right? You don't need a Biden right now. You need a Katie Porter. You need a Nina Turner. You need a progressive who is actually equipped to fight against fascism. Because the corporate Democrats, and I'll tell you in secret, the corporate Democrats are behind the scenes thinking, Trump appeals to a lot of the donors that we get money from. So you know what? Maybe losing democracy is not so bad. So we'll keep Biden in there because either way, our donors win. And that's really all we care about in the end.
Wow. You think the Democratic Party is sold out that much, huh?
Dude, so it's not that I think it is, right? They have corporate money. So Nancy Pelosi is an insider trader, right? When MAGA tells you that Nancy Pelosi's fucked up, they're not wrong. Adam Schiff takes a shit ton of corporate money. So when MAGA tells you that Adam Schiff is fucked up, they're not wrong. Again, when you deny the problems within your own party and try to belittle those that point them out to you, you lose credibility, Democrats. I'm not losing credibility. I'm out here saying that you guys need to get this corporate money out of your party. Stop alienating the progressives that come on here like JJ, right? JJ was a fantastic caller you had.
I saw you in the comments talking. I saw that. I saw you in the comments.
Yeah. And all I do is see silly-ass Democrats in your chat calling her MAGA. And the reason she left your party is because that's what happened. You alienated her. You disenfranchised her for dissenting from your uniparty bullshit. And now she left your party. I left your party for the same reasons. I'll still vote. And it's not even good enough for them that I tell them, yeah, even if you wheel Biden in with his head in a jar, sure, I'll vote for him, right? But I'd rather not have to do that, right? I'd rather you guys not wait until he's like Feinstein and you have to wheel him into the fucking Oval Office and he can't even read bills anymore, so he has to have one of his aides do it, and he can't vote on them anymore or sign bills anymore, so he has to have someone sign a bill for him. This is what the Democrats want. This is where they're at. And if you dissent from their cult-like behavior in backing Biden, you get alienated. You get pushed out of the party, right? Democrats are fucked up, man, because they went against an entire wing of their party in 2016, and that's why you lost the fucking election.
Well, if Democrats are so fucked up, why don't you vote for a Republican? Trump is right there.
So I go for policy, right? I'm not beholden to a man. I am beholden to the Constitution and to the policies that politicians put forth. I have no love for Joe Biden. I have no love for Donald Trump. It's a job. The President of the United States is a job. And if you look at either of these morons and you would hire them as the CEO of your company, you're out of your goddamn mind. And I'm being gaslit. So here I am with fascists to the right and morons to the left, and I'm stuck here in the middle with you now.
Fascists to the right and morons to the left. You really have no love for the Democratic Party at all. What did you think of? Now you mentioned
I'm not a Democrat, dude. I'm an independent.
What did you think of? You did favor Obama, though, right?
Look, I like Obama's ACA. His foreign policy was a disaster. Okay, he didn't push hard enough for the public option, and all in all, Obama is a C, D grade president, just like every president we've had until you get back to FDR. Then you start getting in the B and A range there. When you get to Eisenhower, you start getting in the B and A range there. Maybe even Jimmy Carter, because the dude is just an amazing
Jimmy
human being,
Carter?
right?
You think Jimmy Carter?
Amazing human being.
You give Jimmy Carter high grades?
The guy has spent his entire life trying to help people. And even when he was done being president, all he did his entire rest of his life was build homes for poor people.
Okay, now we're not talking about Jimmy Carter the man. We're talking about his presidency. You think he had a good presidency?
Better than anything you've seen recently.
Oh my God! Yeah, I think both sides of the aisle are going to disagree with you on that. Jimmy Carter, really?
Both sides of the aisle already disagree with me now. Bro, the problem is right now, right, that's what it is. It's both sides of the aisle. And both sides of the aisle right now are wrong, right? You have one party that's totally slipping away into fascism and doesn't give a fuck. And then you have the other side that's so ensconced in corporate money that they can't pull their heads out of their asses for a minute to see that they're running a corpse. And every poll that you look at has Donald Trump either beating Joe Biden or they're very close. If you have a man that tried to overthrow your government and you're generally tied in the polls with him, you should be worried, Democrats. You should be worried about that. But for some reason, you're not. Why? Because you're in a cult. You're in a cult. That's why.
The Democratic cult. I've certainly heard it all. Ruby, before I let you go, this game.
So you wait. I just heard one of your callers, one of your people in chat say, "I don't care about polls." Keep in mind that every president who said, "I don't care about polls," has lost. Even Donald Trump, during the election, when he said, "I don't care about the polls," guess what? He lost that one.
Fair enough.
So you better start caring about polls.
Well, before I let you go, and by the way, Moogly, thank you for that. Galaxy was certainly noticed. Winning Freedom on YouTube says, I want you to give me your spiel in this because it doesn't sound like there's very much difference.
Look at this behavior in your chat. Look at this behavior in your chat. This is Blue MAGA right here. Oh, polls don't matter. Polls don't. Blue MAGA right here, bro. They're in a cult, right? Just like regular MAGA. Y'all are in a cult.
Blue MAGA. What the actual fuck? I've never heard of that. Blue MAGA.
Yeah. Democrats who can't pull their heads out of their butt to realize that Joe Biden is too old to be president, that there's something wrong with him, and they always tell MAGA this, right? Like, you don't have to run Donald Trump. You have plenty of people in your party that aren't a felon.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this final question because this sounds like right where we're at. Winning Freedom on YouTube says, what is the substantive difference between Trump and Biden? You don't sound like there's much difference at all.
So the substantive difference, and again, it's the main reason I will vote for Biden, is because Donald Trump got a bunch of fake electors together. He tried to delay the reading of the votes. When that didn't work, he tried to have his people hang the vice president, right? He tried to overturn the results of the election by recruiting fake electors to send the votes back to the states, have his electors say, no, this is not right. Donald Trump actually won, and he went to overthrow the election. That's the only reason I'm voting for Joe Biden. Joe Biden has not had any kind of stellar presidency. His infrastructure bill is inadequate. His CHIPS Act doesn't go far enough. He got cucked by Joe Manchin almost his entire presidency. He's a disaster when it comes to Israel. Joe Biden is a status. He hasn't fixed the wealth gap. He's done nothing on homelessness. He will not take on private equities to keep them from buying up the housing that's in the country, because Joe Biden takes millions and millions of dollars from private equities and donations. Shh, don't tell the Democrats, they're in a cult. All right. So
if we could go back to January 5th, January 5, the day before that melee, on January 5th, if we took Trump's record from the time he got inaugurated to January 5th, and eliminated.
Why do we have to bring up Trump every time, dude? Why can't it just be that Joe Biden's presidency has been par for the course? He's the same as every status quo Democrat that's the presidency. Why do I have to compare every fucking thing to Trump?
Because that's who's running against him.
Is it? But No, is it to assure Democrats? Is it to give guys a little pat on the head? Yeah, Trump is worse. Yes, he's worse. I understand. Let me pat you on the head and comfort you. I understand he's worse. Yes, I get it.
Well, at the end of the day, if we get rid of the Biden, the guy you're saying it sucks, that's who becomes president. There is no other person out there.
Not if you get rid of Joe Biden, because every hypothetical poll that every polling company has done shows that literally any Democrat you put up against Trump other than Biden smashes him, wins by 10 points or more. And I want to say one last thing before I go here.
Okay.
Because the Democrats act like it's one debate performance and then all of a sudden everybody wants Joe Biden to go. No, my friends, the progressive wing of your party has been calling for you to get a different candidate for about 3 fucking years now. The problem is your ears are shut and you don't want to listen to the wing of your party that actually knows what they're doing.
All right, Moo. Damn. Appreciate you coming on. All right, moving it on. And I will say this. Wow. This is why a lot of folks on the right have been suggesting that Biden is caving to the far left and caving to the progressives. There you go. That's a progressive. He really paints Biden as doing a very, very shitty job. In other words, if Biden wasn't running against the likes of Trump, which is why I started asking him about January 5th, he didn't want to respond to that. But it sounded like if Trump had not did what he did on January 6th, shit, he might have been voting for Trump. He really does not like Biden. So there you go. Looking in the comments, and I see somebody said, Moo is on fire. Fair enough. All right, he is pretty smart. Bobby Covino. Moo always gets a hell of a lot of response in the comments. However, I got to bring you my next guy, who you're probably familiar with if you tune into the program weekdays, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Central, when we normally hear him about 20 minutes late today. Nevertheless, tap the screen. Moogly! I want to know where Moo buys his energy drinks. Passion. Gets it from Passion Supermarket. Moo is passionate on his opinion. I want to ask that you tap the screen as always. We got over 800 of you in here. Get the likes up to about 40,000. We can certainly do that. Let your thumbs not be lazy. You know what we always say. This is uncensored programming. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. You don't have to agree with anybody in the comment section. You're damn sure don't have to agree with the host. It's all about free speech here. We don't talk down to guests. We are MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. Biden must save America. Put Trump in Gitmo, says Dion Pryor. It's not going to happen before the election for absolute certain. Have a good day. I got to get back to my black job now, says Peggy. I got to say this before I go back to the box. The black job thing might actually be beneficial to folks on the left. It's really, really catching on. I can't tell you how much I'm hearing about the black jobs. I mean, people are making TikToks and video, social media broadcast. I mean, the black job thing really caught on. So despite Biden stumbling all of his words and coming across like a bumbling buffoon, Trump didn't help himself out with the black jobs thing. I'm seeing it everywhere. Going to the box. We'll start it out. I appreciate you folks tuned in. Electric Wolf 45. MAGA indeed. Good afternoon.
How are you?
I don't even know after the Supreme Court ruling. How do you feel about it?
That's fine. I mean, he saved Obama. He saved Bush. He saved Clinton. Anybody that bombed anybody illegally, stuff like that. Come on. He worked. It worked out for all previous presidents' favors. We talked about this one time. Remember?
Yeah, I don't know if, because what happened here is whatever happened between Mike Pence and because I believe that Jack Smith's case, if Trump is innocent, he should have been found innocent. But the idea now is we won't ever hear a lot of what he has to present to show that it was a stage attempt to stop the election. I would like to at least hear the evidence. They have essentially silenced Jack Smith. I don't think I'm not a fan of that.
Well, I'll tell you what. If it was somebody other than Trump that they would have gone through the right way instead of trying to just, what do they call it when they go after him? They tried to bun rush him on trials and everything else because he was Trump, not because he was a former president, not because everything. It's just because he was Donald Trump. They didn't like him. I would agree with you if that didn't happen. If he was like really a criminal, I would totally be with you right there. Now, the way I feel, I don't give two shits. I could care less what they do. I don't care if they lose this way or they lost in court. I don't want to hear it. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Now you said if he was a criminal or whatever the case may be, I understand the Alvin Bragg case in New York was a sham. They bumped it up to felonies when it was just misdemeanors. But in regards to January 6th, I actually would like to know what happened to the point where all of them folks collectively came together. This happened at the Capitol building. Trump disappeared for 4 hours. I would like to know what happened.
Well, I really don't think. I mean, to be honest, I think we will find out. We will find out in a few years. Maybe we'll be dead. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But we will find out. History will find out. I just don't think it's going to be pretty for the Democrats, the liberals, FBI, CIA, those guys. That's just the way I look at it.
I agree with you 100%. I definitely believe we will eventually find out. But I think one thing is certain at this point. One thing I am absolutely clear on is that Trump does not want you to find out anytime soon. He is doing what he can to make sure you never hear what Jack Miff has to present. Eventually, you're right. It'll come out because you can only delay the clock so long, but it's pretty clear. Trump does not want what's there to come out, even if it was to exonerate him. He is keeping that case from coming to the American people.
Oh, yeah, most likely. Yeah, because, I mean, I think I just don't blame him, handsome. I mean, these guys have run this guy ragged, and they just seem to keep losing all their stuff because they're so nefarious on how they go about it. If you would have gotten a case and presented it correctly and everything else, but the guy didn't do anything wrong. I mean, just move on. I mean, the January 6th.
How do you know? How can you? If you
I just don't believe it. As a human being and as an American, I've seen too many things where the Democrats have been they're so sneaky and pandering, and I just don't trust them at all.
But hang on a second. You're saying you just don't believe it. You also believe Trump won the last election, right?
Maybe.
Right. So you believe things that may or may not have any evidence.
But I also didn't. I still acknowledge Biden's our president.
That ain't got nothing to do with you. That means you believe that Biden is a fraudulent president.
Nah, it's not the first. I just don't believe it's the first time they've cheated. I don't even think it's the first time Republicans have cheated. I mean, just politicians in general. Yeah, I think there are a bunch of cheaters all the time. I mean, I think they just got so brazen and they got caught and they're like, shit. Because again, we will find out eventually that it's going to be like a long time, probably 10 years from now, and they're going to be like, yep, it finally came out.
Here's my issue, and I've been bringing this up a lot. The fact is, probably well over 99% of Republicans that are in Washington are saying Trump lost. I don't see why they would make that up. These are people who would actually
99% of Washington Republicans. Who gives a shit what they think?
Why would if Trump won? Why would they lie about that?
Because they don't care, handsome. I'm telling you, they could recite. Let me tell you, if Trump disappeared right now and they put somebody else in, they don't care. They don't care.
What are you basing that on?
Is winning.
What are you basing?
Making sure they get reelected. That's just the way I look at it. They don't care what people's opinions is.
Here's why what you're saying doesn't make sense to me. If Trump had won, Mike Pence would have remained in power. Half of his administration would have remained in power. Why are people who would have benefited from a Trump victory saying he lost?
Because it's over now.
They were saying it at the end of the election. Why wouldn't they defend Trump? If they believed he won the election, why would they say he lost? That doesn't make any sense. It's
convenient for them. They don't have any balls. They don't have any convictions. They don't have any loyalty. That's the thing. They some of them may believe it, yes. Some of them may not believe it. That's fine. But like I said, the people in general, like people that support Trump and stuff like that, we don't care what they think. We don't care about their opinion.
But some of us, I know you're going to go with it. But some of us do. Where is the evidence that his whole administration did not have balls? Where are you getting that from?
Well, because they keep denying it. I mean, see, again, it doesn't matter whether they think it or there's a lot of Republicans that think he lost. That's fine. I mean, there was a conservative on yesterday that told you, yeah, he lost. Okay, that's his opinion. But everybody is entitled to their opinion. I just happen to have my opinion that I don't think he did. But that's okay. It was a shit show, and there you go.
Is your opinion actually based on any facts?
It's kind of the facts that what I saw during the election and before the election coming up to with the drop boxes and all that. It just didn't seem right. It just doesn't seem right.
Okay, you said what you saw with the drop boxes. What are you talking about?
Where they were loading up the drop boxes, they were mailing pre-loaded ballots, they were picking up ballots from people's homes, things like that. It just doesn't sound right.
Okay, but when they're picking up ballots from people's homes, how do you know that when they're picking that ballot up from somebody's house, that ballot is not casting a vote for a Republican?
It doesn't matter. They shouldn't have done it, period. I don't care who it was for.
Yeah, but where is the part of this where if they're...
I don't care if it was Trump's ballots. I don't care.
Right, but where does this equate to a Trump win, though? You see things that are wrong.
It was just too many ballots that were fraud. I just think that there were a lot of fraudulent ballots. That's all the way I look at it.
You believe there's a lot of fraudulent ballots, but is it possible that most of those fraudulent ballots were in favor of Trump?
No.
And what is that based on?
The fact that everybody hates Trump in Washington. That's just the way I look at it. I mean,
you just admitted.
Perfect. I mean, like I said, it's just my opinion. It's just my way of thinking. I just can't help it. I mean, it's kind of like you. I know you're a liberal. I know you're a strong black man. I know that goddamn you hate Trump, but you support him.
I don't hate Trump.
Everything else. But guess what? I know you're going to vote for him. I know. You will not vote for Joe Biden after that, what do you call it, that debate. I know you won't.
Okay.
I know.
Now you do believe that Biden's poor debate performance, and I'm not going to deny he sucked at that debate. You believe that may switch voters over to Trump?
Oh, big time. Or even if it's not just to Trump, I think a lot of them are going to Trump. The ones that are really not like hardcore partisan. I'm hardcore partisan. I don't give a shit. But I'm just saying, there's some people that are not hardcore partisans. I believe a lot of those are like, shit, I'm a Democrat, but yeah, this is the best guy for the job.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
That's the way
I look at it.
Yeah, the reason I got to push back, if it was Nikki Haley or some moderate Republican like Chris Christie or somebody, the people you guys hate, I would agree with you. But I do believe that right now we've obviously seen what happened with Roe v. Wade. Now children are being forced to learn Christianity in schools and things like that. I believe that Trump is pushing the country so far to the right that even with Biden being a bumbling buffoon on stage, if you support Biden or you were leaning in that direction, it's not going to make you go this far to the right. So but
that's the extremists, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying about medium down the road. The 10 Commandments thing that's going on and everything, I don't agree with it. Like I said,
it doesn't matter. It's happening. Does not matter. It is happening. A lot of folks that are Republican. A lot of Republicans don't agree.
I just got a violation.
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens. I don't know why. But a lot of Republicans.
Before I get banned for 3 weeks, but it was nice talking to you. Don't forget to vote for Trump, boss.
Good luck. All right, moving it on. That's Wolf. Sorry about that, Wolf. I don't know. Somebody must have been hating the program, or it was your commentary. But you're always welcome back on the program. What I was going to say to him is, because he said he don't support the 10 Commandments and things like that. I would say this: a lot of the representatives of the Republican Party that are in power are doing things that a lot of Republican voters don't support. Fine, but that is what's taking place. Like when it's put up for a vote, most Republican states are voting to actually allow abortion, at least to some level. These really tough, really strict abortion laws don't make it past the Republican voters. But a lot of the powers that be in the Republican Party is trying to prevent it from coming up to a vote. So, yeah, maybe you don't do the 10 Commandments being forced on kids or the Bible being forced on children. But at the end of the day, that's what the Republican Party is doing. So I don't believe that folks who maybe were thinking about Biden, maybe were leaning left a little bit, saw Biden behaving the way he did on stage at the debate and go, well, I'm going to go vote for Trump. I just believe the two men are so far apart politically now that either you support Trump or you don't. Either you are against Trump or you're not. I don't think anybody's for Biden. I think everybody is either in favor of Trump or not in favor of Trump. As Moo was saying, my first guess, you could replace Biden with just about any liberal, and they're going to get at least as many votes as Biden is getting. And fact is, even with Biden being completely out of his mind by some folks' standards, he's very competitive with Trump. Folks are suggesting that Biden is equivalent to Weekend at Bernie's, yet just about every poll, right-leaning Rasmussen, left-leaning, you name it, Quinnipiac, every poll shows that Biden is very competitive with Trump. Yeah, Trump may be winning in some polls, but he is not running away with it. Even though Biden looked and sounded like he did, he is still very competitive with Trump. So we'll see what happens. Look at in the comments, though. How much are you getting paid, says Jeff. Not enough. Appreciate your input. Nothing by you, by the way, Jeff. Looking in the comments, Trump isn't even allowed to travel to our allies, Canada, UK, most of Europe, banned felons. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. If Trump becomes president, because some of those felonies are state felonies. Now, before I go back to the box, let's be clear. Many folks are starting to believe, including yours truly, anything on behalf of Trump that goes up to the Supreme Court, it's a good chance that Trump's going to emerge victorious. So if Trump becomes president and the state of New York is still trying to keep a felony on his record, and somehow they can word it so that it's important to remove this felony from his record so that he can travel or whatever the case may be, if that goes before the Supreme Court, my guess is the felony is going to come off. I just don't think there's a lot of unbiased rulings going to come from the Supreme Court. I think if Trump takes anything to the Supreme Court, it's a good chance it's going to come back victorious. So I'm looking in the comments, though. Why was Trump's private plane in Russia on Friday? Is that true? I have not heard that. Going back to the box, the one and only DJ Julio. Good afternoon, Julio. Welcome to the program. I'm assuming, like Wolf, you're happy with today's ruling?
Well, see, that's why I came up right now. Earlier.
You might be in a bad area. You're breaking up. Julio, I'm gonna drop you for now. Come back. I'll drop you for now. Move on and come back to you. You're really in a bad area. We'll continue on with Miami Luxury. Nothing wrong with that. Good afternoon, Miami, straight out of Southern Florida. Assuming the box brings him up. Looking in the comments, Don Gladden, unfortunately, he can't. Oh, geez, what a shame. I bring Julio up. DJ Julio's Maga. Moo is obviously progressive. DJ Julio has a bad signal. And Moo puts in the comments, oh, geez, what a shame. God, you guys are so damn harsh. Bring up Moo. Moo's already been up. There are just different countries we can't travel to, says Drift. Yeah, but the president needs to be able to travel to wherever, whenever. I mean, we may have troops there. Conflicts could break out. Maybe we need to go places and assure other world leaders that we got their back, like when Biden went to Taiwan. A lot of countries, as somebody in the comments rightfully stated, they don't let felons cross the border. When I lived overseas, when I lived in Australia and New Zealand, they run your background. They don't let you in the country if you got a felony from your own home. Isn't that what Trump's is saying? Trump is saying that we got a lot of folks with criminal records coming in this country and they should be stopped. Isn't that what he is saying? Perhaps someone from Venezuela or Guatemala should step up and say, it was a witch hunt, sir. I'm asking to seek asylum. It's a witch hunt, I tell you. You think Trump would have sympathy? Looking in the comments, though, he isn't and will never be president again. I'm not sure of that, Big Mac. And the reason I say that also, when you got a significant amount of judicial support, for lack of a better term, and I do believe Trump has a decent amount of judicial support. What Moo was pointing out earlier, that the left is handling him with kid gloves, and the right don't mind punching as hard as they can. I mean, when you look at what Trump received in terms of punishments for being found in contempt, I mean, those judges were really, really mild with him. now all of a sudden the Supreme Court is very friendly with him. So no matter where he goes, he's not getting really treated that harshly. We'll see what happens on July 11th. I've had a few conspiratorial guests suggest that if he had a good debate, and now he's had a good Supreme Court ruling as well, that the judge that sentences him on July 11th will throw his ass in jail. We'll see. But that judge has been fairly kind to Trump, in my opinion. Moving on with the program, Linda. Good afternoon, Linda. Welcome to the program. It's over after last Thursday. Trump won. Next debate, September. Biden won't debate. You could be right about not debating, but I don't agree. It's over with. Linda, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing good. What do you think? You think the Supreme Court might be in Trump's pocket?
Yes, I do. But I also feel like this whole election, this election this time around is really sucking. We don't have good candidates on either side. But I will say, I think the biggest fear of the Republicans is that Kamala ends up being the president.
Why do you think that is?
I don't
What's
think
so bad
she's going to
about?
be there long.
What's so bad about Kamala in your opinion? Like what?
Nothing's bad about her. I mean, there's no perfect politician, and I would feel honored to have the first female president. Here in the U.S. Mexico's got theirs, Claudia Sheinbaum.
Yeah.
And
New Zealand just got one too.
And I think that's why a lot of the Republicans are backing Trump so much, because their biggest fear is that Kamala is going to end up being the president.
What would Kamala do that would be so bad for the Republic? I mean, she's going to probably rule
she's a black female, and they don't want that. I feel like a lot of it has to do with her gender and her race, and they don't want that. Look at how they treated Obama when he was in office.
Yeah.
Come on. The bottom line is they don't like to see color, and that's just it.
What about Tim Scott?
I can't say much about Tim Scott. No, I don't think he's gonna. I mean,
they're suggesting that Tim Scott is on the list for possible VP running mate.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't
think it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either.
So. I don't think so. No. Because that's just. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So you do believe the Republican Party has a problem with people of color?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What makes you say that?
And I think what's Trump doing? He's validating all of that. Trump is allowing them to be more, how can I say, upfront about how they really feel. I mean, come on. Even when Trump was in office, how much racism was going around? They were just getting bold. They were showing their colors. Well, they're shades.
I get a lot of guests that say the same thing you said. And I do believe the FBI was saying it also. Did you personally yourself see more out in open racism?
I'm Native and I'm Latina. So I'm not going to even tell you how many times I've been told to go back to my country.
Wow.
And I'm from here. It's just ridiculous. But yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I live down the street. What do you mean? Okay, wow.
I know.
And so, but some folks were saying that Obama's the one that created the division.
No. I mean, he was, look, this is where they can't get their story right. They're talking about how Obama kept people in cages and how Obama did this and that. But then again, they were saying that Obama was allowing immigrants in and who knows what else.
Yeah.
So they're contradicting themselves half the time. So it's like right now they're saying illegal for taking black people's jobs and Latinos' jobs and who knows what else. But then they say that the immigrants are lazy, that they're leeches off the government. So what is it? Are they lazy or are they working?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna give you three words. Now your heritage is not Mexican, is it?
My father's Mexican.
Okay.
My mother's Native American. She's Blackfoot.
All right, fine. I'm gonna give you three words. Then this should be something you can relate to. I'm seeing this on YouTube because we're on both platforms simultaneously. Carlos, by the way, Carlos has three words: Mexicans for Trump. What does that mean to you?
That's like that's sort of suicide there, you know? That's
suicide. Wow.
Like let me go back. Remember when Trump was in office, how many Latinos voted for Trump and then they got their asses deported?
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, I never thought about bringing that up.
How many veterans were deported?
Yep.
How many veterans were deported because Trump was, well, not Trump personally, but because his administration was, they literally was questioning people's birth. You know, it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, voted for Trump and then you got deported by the man. That is crazy, and that did happen to a lot of people. Didn't even think about that one. Wow.
Yeah, it's just I remember that one white woman who voted for Trump and then her husband got deported. Yep. They owned some business.
Yeah,
I believe it was up in Illinois or somewhere.
He was. He owned a restaurant
all
business.
Over the news and shit like that. Yeah. I didn't think my vote was gonna.
Well, I'll tell you something. Yeah, I remember that case. I remember that case. They owned a little restaurant or whatever, but also. Yeah. Kate Cox, the one who was known in Texas, 31-year-old Kate Cox that had a chromosome disorder and was not allowed to have an abortion, even though she also voted for Trump.
Correct. Correct.
So it's
and
interesting.
She was crying all over the news and everything. No, bitch, you voted for this. Go. Let's go. Let's go. And I believe in my heart, if you vote for Trump and you get your ass deported, you deserve it. You need to go. You need to go.
But what about Biden's lackluster performance, for lack of a better term?
I do believe that Biden needs to be a bit more stricter. I totally agree with that because he's just letting in all these people, and I don't agree with that.
That ain't what I'm asking. Yeah. It's Lisa says chickens for KFC. Oh my God. No, what I'm saying is what about Biden's poor performance at the debate? That don't make you want to maybe go to Trump?
Hold on. I heard a lot of people talking, he's mumbling and who knows what else, but he mumbles coherently versus the gibberish incoherently of Trump. So let me say, at least Biden's answering the questions, okay? Slowly, but he did.
Well, he answered some questions.
You know what this debate reminded me of? I don't know if you remember the Puppet Show or the Muppet Show, the two judges. That's what the fuck it was, right there, those two judges.
I just thought about something with you having a Hispanic. So you are Listen Linda. You Linda. Listen Linda.
Yeah. Look at Linda. Look at you. Get mad. You go. Yes, that's me.
You Linda. Okay.
I never heard the ending of that. Okay.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I'm looking at your name and I'm like, Linda. No, that's Linda. All right. So at the end of the day, though, another Trump term. What concerns you most?
The hate. The hate that we had to deal with when he was in office, and he's going to bring it up again. It's going to get bad. I already, look, I'm going to tell you something. I was working at a tow truck company for a while, just as a temp job, extra money. And one of the drivers came in and was like, hey, look at Linda, look what I bought, my new toy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's white. Okay.
All right.
And he showed me he bought a brand new rifle and stuff like that. And he goes, Texas is getting bad. I live in Texas. The border is getting bad and who knows what else. So I got myself a little toy so we can go play practice target down at the border. That pissed me off.
Somebody told you that?
Yes, at my job. And then, like, a week later, he asked me out. And I'm like, hell no.
Damn.
I said, no.
Damn.
No. Trey says, what debate did you watch? The Muppet Show. The Muppet Show, Trey.
Now, you're nowhere near the border now, are you?
I live in Austin.
Okay, well, you're close enough. Yeah, that's pretty close.
4.5 hours from there.
That's not that far away.
But yeah.
I've heard some rumors, and I don't know if there's any validity to this, but I've heard a little birdie told me your state may go purple. No chance.
It may. I don't know. Look, all I can tell you is that a lot of people that I've spoken with, they're very discouraged with this run for president this time around, this year for voting. They're not too hot about Trump. They're not too hot about Biden. I'm the same way. I'm like, no.
Who would you favor?
I don't even know what. Huh?
Who would you favor? If you could put anybody in there that you know of in politics, who do you believe would be a good leader for this country?
A good leader for this country? I think, oh my gosh. I can't think of his name right now. What's his name?
What is he known for? What is he known for? Where is he from?
He's part of the representatives or Senate. He's one of the senators. Oh my God. If I can think of his name.
Don't say Menendez.
No. Clarence. Wait, what's his name? Is it Clarence?
Don't say Clarence any damn thing. Are you talking about Cory Booker? Clarence. Jim Jeffries?
Keep going.
I'm trying to. Is he a black man? A white man?
Yeah, he's a black man. He's one of the. Oh my God.
Oh, shit, that limits that greatly limits it. The guy down in Georgia, Warnock?
No, I think it is Jeffries.
Okay, Hakeem, not Jim Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries. Okay.
Oh no. Yeah.
But he's not a senator. He's he replaced Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, Hakeem. Oh my God.
Congress.
His name is not clicking on me right now.
All right.
But yeah, there's one that I wish he would. I really wish he would run.
What do you think of Kamala?
I like her. I mean, I haven't heard much of her, what she's doing, but I sort of feel like maybe she's right now running a little bit of the show behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, let me ask, since you're partially you got partially Hispanic. What, Ted Cruz is Hispanic? Why not Ted Cruz?
Hell no. No.
Marco Rubio's Hispanic too.
I'm sorry, just because a person has because I don't like Marco Rubio either.
Yeah.
I don't like him either. Nope.
And he's a VP. I think he's on a short list to be VP. We may get a Hispanic VP out of Trump. Okay, half of. Oh my Lord, I'm going to say something and people are going to get mad, but I don't give a shit. But Marco Rubio is Cuban, right? Yeah.
Okay, so most of the Cubans run from Cuba to get away from Castro, and they come over here and they want to fucking vote for dictatorship. It's like, what the hell? Isn't that what you were running from? And you're coming over here?
So you do see Trump
I
as
say most because not all, because I know a lot of Cubans that are like, no, man, I'm not. No, they're not for that. But at the same time, it's like, what the? Okay. So and I know in Florida they threw this big old fit because somebody made a billboard showing Trump and Fidel Castro, face to face, saying you ran from this to get into to vote for this. It's like, what the fuck? So you do see the Trump administration as kind of running a dictatorship of sorts. Yeah. I mean, just with the Project 2025, all the stuff that he wants to, that they're pushing to try to change and stuff, that alone is dictatorship. All right, fair enough, Linda. It's our first time talking. Yes, it is, sir. Great. It's a pleasure. Come on back anytime. Doors are always open to you, Linda. Appreciate you coming through. All right. Thank you. Anytime. You have a wonderful afternoon, okay? You too. My sentiments exactly. Okay. Moving the program on, we are asking, we've seen the ruling today from the Supreme Court. Good, bad, indifferent? How do you feel about the Supreme Court ruling? I mean, my humble opinion is it's a win for Trump, a fairly big win for Trump. From the simple standpoint of, it seems like it's been clear from Trump since day one as the goal has been to delay as many of these cases as possible. And he has been incredibly successful at delaying a lot of cases. My humble opinion, if you had talked to me a year ago, I think many of you folks who were tuned in several months ago, I figured several of these, I figured a lot of the cases would have come to fruition. I mean, at the end of the day, the federal government has like a 96% conviction rate. They usually have their T's crossed and I's dotted by the time they indict you. But the ability to navigate the system and delay so many cases for so long, Trump's been awesome at this. I mean, we got Fonnie Willis. She ended up being on trial. In the Alvin Bragg case, finally that did come to fruition, but even that was heavily challenged. And Jack Smith, we may never hear from that guy. Because if Trump wins, he's going to lose his job. Merrick Garland's going to be gone, and whoever Trump replaces Merrick Garland with is going to get rid of Jack Smith. So Trump has been really good at this. Looking in the comments, though, this is Steven from Django. All right, fair enough. Trump 2024, I can't handle another 4 years with Biden, and I don't know many that could. Look, I'm not a fan of Biden's economy. There's issues with Biden. I'm not saying that Biden is perfect, but I don't think if Biden is reelected, the country's going to just disintegrate and cease to exist. What is this, the nation of Atlantis? We're going to just go under the sea? I don't see America
as this just despot, like a lot of folks on the right suggest. Yeah, gas has went up, price of groceries have went up, but the country, I mean, we survived the Great Depression, we survived World War II, we survived the Civil War. I don't know if we'll have another one of those, we can talk about that, but I don't see the country as being in such bad shape that if Biden is elected, we only have 4 more years left in the hourglass. I just don't see it being that bad. Going back to the box, tap the screen, get the likes on up to 60,000. Nearly 1,000 of you in here. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Tap the screen, get the likes up. We'll try it again one more time with DJ Julio. Good afternoon, Julio. Welcome to the program. I lost my damn pins, so I can't. Good afternoon, Julio.
Well, how you doing?
I'm doing good. So, how do you feel about today's ruling?
I'm doing good. So, how do you feel about today's ruling? Well, that's what I was trying to say earlier. What was the ruling? I missed it.
Okay, first of all, you got a major echo.
How's that better?
Let me see. No.
I don't know if I can. No, let me see.
There is no more Democratic establishment. What is a Democratic establishment, Damien? Okay, can you hear me? DJ Julio, can you hear me? You still got problems going on there. All right, we'll try it again in a minute. You're still in and out and you're echoing. What does that say here? Somebody says drop him, please. Julio is a friend of the program, but signal is signal. People want to talk about gas. The president is not the CEO of OPEC and doesn't dictate gas prices. I 100% agree with that. I don't believe if Trump gets reelected that we're going to get a 2017 economy. I believe a lot of people do believe he's going to do that. And if he doesn't do it, then we'll just go back to blaming liberals for, well, it ain't my fault. It's your liberal governor is taxing you too much. Trump is good at this stuff. Just like a lot of politicians run on reducing crime. Trump is pointing out under the Biden administration, crime is up everywhere. If Trump gets elected, it's just going to, now we got liberal governors that are not fixing crime. And in states that are red, we got liberal mayors that are not fixing. But at the end of the day, the president can't bring down crime. But he is running on reducing crime. So I do believe that if Trump is elected, gas is not going to drop back down to $2 a gallon. I just don't see that happening. But no, I don't think people will care. He'll just blame it on some kind of liberal tax system or something else that the liberals are doing to keep the prices up. And I think a lot of folks will believe it. Trump sold you the Kool-Aid and made you drink, it says Blue Flame Chevy. I wish you'd elaborate on that. That statement doesn't really have a lot of value on its own. Feel free to elaborate. Defund the police, right, says Corey B. Hey, well, first of all, we know Biden and Nancy Pelosi are on video saying they don't support defund the police. I believe that in a civilized society, police are necessary to keep it civilized. But oddly enough, Trump stated he wants to get a police immunity from prosecution, and that's not coming up. In my humble opinion, it makes no sense to defund the police. That's stupid. But it's equally so to give them immunity from prosecution. By the way, after today's ruling, maybe we can understand why Trump wants to get a police immunity. Going back to the box, to try it again with Jason. Appreciate you holding on. Jason, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. The box is problematic today. Can you hear me? Jason.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Handsome?
Hey, good to have you on, man. Today's
how you doing, man?
Good to have you. I'm doing good. Somewhat after the Supreme Court ruling. What's your opinion?
Supreme Court ruling. I was thinking about a few other things, but
okay.
The Supreme Court ruling. I honestly think if it was me, I would kind of be pissed off,
If it was you, if you were Trump, you'd be pissed off at the Supreme Court ruling?
Yeah, because it was misdemeanors,
What are you talking about?
It's already it's been past. It's been. I mean, it's been way past the time. It's.
Wait. Why
Yeah,
would you, if you were Trump, why would you be angry at the ruling from the Supreme Court today? Give me your opinion on this.
Well, I'm not really, big on the Supreme Court. And I'm not, I don't know a whole lot about politics, but I know that.
Did you see Joe Biden at the debate?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
You kind of sounded like him. Okay, you said you had something on your mind. What did you have on your mind?
Well, what I was thinking was the gentleman that was, in your box before. He had y'all had spoken about. I believe it was.
You sure you saw Joe Biden? Are you imitating Joe Biden?
No.
Yeah.
I'm trying. No, I'm actually trying to.
You trying to lose the election? Sound like you trying to lose the election.
No.
What's on your mind, man?
No.
What's on your mind?
I'm trying to say this the right way. See, okay. Somebody was talking about that the election was rigged, right?
Right.
And it's easy because they put all this stuff in our face.
What do you mean by stuff in our face? Stuff like what?
Like the name Dominion. The name Dominion means to control and to, I believe it means to control and to interrogate or whatever.
Why do you believe that? Why do you believe the name Dominion means all of that? You clearly did not hear that from a guy named Webster who makes dictionaries. So where did you get that from? What makes you believe Dominion means all of that?
No, I actually got it from the dictionary. And if you look at their the name and their logo, it shows a blue ballot going in and a red ballot coming out.
Okay. Do you also believe in?
It literally shows that.
Okay. You do realize.
I know I sound crazy.
Yeah, you do. You do realize.
I know.
You do realize both Fox News with infinite amount of resources and Tucker Carlson, Mike Lindell, they've lost a ton of money and credibility in court trying to suggest that Dominion was doing this stuff. Why, if what you're saying is true, why did they do so bad in court?
Why did Dominion do so bad?
No, why did the folks who feel the way you feel that Dominion was trying to alter things, why did they do so bad in court?
I have no answer for that.
All right. I want you to, okay, fair. I got to move it on, man. You're taking us in a different direction, but I do appreciate you coming through. All right, and Jason held on for a while. I saw Jason in there. Jason is a caller I haven't talked to before. I saw him. I like to bring up some new callers, but that was interesting to say the least. He's welcome back, but I don't know where that went. In the comments on YouTube, Oprah Mac Patriot Truth says Fox settled because they didn't have all the proof. Well, if Fox News settled with Dominion, according to you, because they didn't have all the proof, then if you don't have all the proof, then why the hell are you on television stating things that you don't have all the proof to? If you're on TV saying things, you should have proof that what you're saying is accurate. So when the company sues you, you can show them what made you say it. you're basically admitting that what Fox News did was based on nothing. And when they were challenged in court, they couldn't do anything but settle. You kind of just convicted Fox News as not being a reliable news network. Just think about what you said. They settled because they didn't have all the proof. Well, if you don't got all the proof, why are you on TV saying some shit like that? Looking in the comments, machines were missing. SI part of the evidence was gone, says Yolanda. Look, like I said, at the end of the day, don't go on don't go on TV saying things if you can't provide the evidence. That's all that would have happened. Now, Chris, you're saying they never settled. That's actually not true. They did settle. They settled for $775 million. Dominion was suing for more than that. And they had actual records. Wow, thank you for that that graphic there. I didn't see who just sent that. I did want to show you some appreciation there. And also certainly that Melvin. And well, there's no name to that galaxy, but thank you. Appreciate that galaxy. In regards to the Dominion, before I go back to the box, wow. Good afternoon to you as well. Thank you. Thank you for that support. What I want to say real quick with the whole Dominion thing is, there was actual evidence that Fox News, coming by way of Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham, suggesting that they knew what they were putting out there was bullshit. Oh, shit. Thanks. Appreciate that level of support. Wow. There's no name. I don't see any name. They sent something from there, but thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Going back to the box, talking to the one and only Teisha Bowie. That says giggles or goggles. Appreciate it. Hey, so what do you think about the ruling?
Wait a minute, that puppy with that balloons was so cute.
Yeah, it was. That little puppy showing his ass. I like that. There it is again. There it is. Look at that little white booty. Smack, smack, smack. So, in regards to the Supreme Court ruling, give me your opinion.
I think it was just a delay tactic.
I can't speak the name of that, but thank you. Okay, a delay tactic on behalf of Trump, correct?
Yeah, to help Trump. Because let me ask you a question. Who didn't know that presidents have immunity when they're doing official acts? Come on, Hans. Right. We already knew this. The only thing they did was gave him more time. Because now they're going to send it back to the lower courts. The lower court's going to have to make a decision. That decision is going to have to go back to the Supreme Court. None of that is going to get done before the election.
And that would be my opinion as well, Teisha. I would agree with you that the sole purpose of that was simply to delay it. It wasn't really to make any substantial ruling, which is why a lot of folks were surprised that the Supreme Court even took the case at all. Like, okay, you're really contemplating on whether the guy has immunity or not? And it was... Go ahead.
Didn't I tell you that I didn't trust the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
I told you they was going to come out with a way to help Trump. I told you that because I already knew it. We can't trust people who can't even be trusted to do right in their capacity. Yeah. They over here getting gifts. Clarence Thomas is the most crooked Supreme Court justice I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Yeah. They have no accountability because they got nobody to answer to. And it's really sad.
So at the end of the day, are we looking at Trump 2024?
Absolutely not. We just looking at delay.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you're admitting that the Supreme Court seems to be in his pocket. If we vote, let's say, for instance, Trump loses the election and starts challenging districts and the way people voted and is trying to get stuff thrown out. If it goes to the Supreme Court, are you confident they're not going to rule in his favor?
They're not going to rule because, see, they're scared now. They're scared that if he gets in, that their positions are going to be, that they're not going to get those other justices that they want so they can keep corrupting this country. See, after he loses, they're going to be like, well, hell, we ain't got no reason to fool with him no more. He can't do nothing for us. No, they're not going to do it.
Well, but if he loses, but it's still being contested, and they know that they're going to have cases coming to them where they could possibly have him put back in. That's what we're talking about.
We not going to let that happen, Hanson. We not.
I don't know. You feel confident?
Hanson, we not going to let that happen. Let me say this about the debate because, I was upset that night. But I told you I'd vote for Joe Biden if he was on hospice, and we had to roll him in and he had to sign his name with it.
Why is so many liberals saying exactly what you're saying? Is Trump really that bad?
Let me give you let me give you an example of what happened during the debate. Because I went back and watched it again. I'm going to say the man was tired. You know, he had been traveling. He had been being briefed all day. He's 80-some years old. The man was tired. But let me say this. Let me give you an example of why we should not be counting Joe Biden out. Say you come home from work. You done had a hard day at work. And your woman say, let me get some. Okay? Now, you've been performing to the best. You the best performer she's ever had. But that one fateful night, after you were so tired, you couldn't give her but 2 pumps and you were done. Does that mean she's supposed to turn over to you and say, hey, get out, never come back? Is she supposed to forget all the good performance you did have just because of the one failed night?
This is one hell of a comparison. Damn. I like the way you, but I do like, because I've heard people say you can't discount Biden's whole entire term over 90 minutes. That is what you're saying, although freaky than a motherfucker. But
that's basically what I gotta put it the way people will understand it. You don't throw somebody out because one night the Viagra didn't work. When it has worked every night up until that point.
We don't need that around here. But I get your point. But do you feel confident, Teisha, just being serious with you, do you feel confident that Biden can give you another 4 years? We're talking about 90 minutes. Can Biden give us another 4 years? Do you feel confident in that?
I feel confident that he can give me all that I need him to give me. And then when he came, my girl can step in and we can have our first African-American female president of these United States.
So you do realize a vote for Biden is essentially voting to put Kamala in as president?
Absolutely.
Okay. So why won't Biden step down? How does that make Biden look if even his supporters are saying, dude, you ain't gonna make it?
Listen, he's still capable.
You just said he's not gonna make all 4 years. He ain't capable.
I said if he doesn't. I cannot predict the future because I'm not the Lord. I didn't breathe breath into him and I can't take it back out of him. I said if he doesn't. I don't know that I could drop dead tomorrow. I'm only 49.
But I'm asking you an honest question, knowing that you didn't.
Got people that's 101 still living and still doing stuff.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm asking you we're talking about speculating, as you're right. You didn't breathe breath into the man. You can't predict his death or anything like that. But I am asking you, in your humble opinion, do you feel confident that Biden can give us a full 4 years?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I can. Do you see how these years flying by? 4 years gonna be feeling like 1.5. Yeah, I believe he can.
Up to 86, huh?
Yeah, I believe. Let me tell you something. You got some men that's 86 still around here humping women that's in their 50s. I know a couple. I'm telling you.
I like talking to you. I like talking to you because you horny than a motherfucker right now. But
I'm all right with
86. What are you Hannah Nicole Smith? 86.
I'm all right with JB.
86.
I'm all right with JB.
Oh my God. He'd fall asleep on top of your ass. I gotta move on to Keisha.
Well, get what? Long as it's after.
Bless your heart. Talk to you later. Oh my God. That went all sorts of different directions, but this is what we do, folks. It's all about free speech, uncensored. Sometimes we do get a bit comical here. All right with JB. Oh, Lord, bless her heart. Looking in the comments, though, and I see Chris says an uneducated voter. Well, I listen, in regards to why the hell would you vote for somebody who looked like Biden on stage? Which is a legitimate question to ask. My opinion, time in and time again, is going to be because the other guy's offering things that you really, really don't like. And I've asked Maga, my beloved Maga side of the aisle, I've asked him the same question. This is what I asked. Tap the screen, by the way, get the likes up to about 75,000. Let your thumbs and not be lazy. We got almost 1,000 of you in here, plus or minus 3 or 4 people. So certainly tap the screen, get the likes up to about 70,000. We can certainly make that happen. TikTok, feel free to smash that like button. This is uncensored programming. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. No one gets banned. You don't have to worry about the host trying to alter your opinion or any of that. We're not here to tell you what to say or how to think. We're here to hear what you have to commentate on. So, I've said the same thing. I had this discussion with the likes of Maga about a month or two ago. Routine question I used to ask, and that is, if Biden came out at the debate, when we knew the debate had been planned for June 27th, the question was, if Biden comes out sounding dignified, well-spoken like he did at the State of the Union address, fairly powerful like he did, or during the Ultra MAGA speech with the red background, and Trump sounded a bit slippery or was telling a bunch of weird stories, would that make you switch from Trump and vote for Biden? The answer was a resounding hell no. There's no way in hell, I don't care what Trump said, I'm not going to vote for Biden. So I have to then ask the question, why do you think people are going to switch to Trump? If you wouldn't do it, why do you think other people are going to do it? So I do tend to believe that even though Biden sounded awful, and I'm not going to try to spin that, I don't believe it's going to change a lot of hearts and minds. I just don't. I mean, these two men are offering a vastly different direction for America. It's not even close. So you're not going to look at Biden and be, I would have voted for him if he had sounded like he was, a little bit more coherent, but because he sounds wild, I'm going to go vote for somebody that represents everything I stand against. I just don't see it happening. What they're offering America is too far apart. So as every guest I've had on the left has stated, I'm voting for Trump if he's in hospice. I think Bill Maher said I'd vote for, better yet, Biden. My last guest said she'd vote for Biden even if he was on hospice. I heard Bill Maher of HBO state that he would vote for Biden even if they had his head in a jar of blue liquid. We're talking Mark Cuban, Shark Tank fame, the former owner of the Dallas Mavericks, stated that he would not vote for Trump even if Biden was on his deathbed receiving last rites. That's what Mark Cuban said. So I don't think the debate changed any hearts and minds. I think it verified that Biden is not all there, but I just think that the love for Trump and the hate for Trump is too set in for Biden to do anything about it. Looking in the box, though, continuing on, appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. We will continue on with Mitch 84. Good afternoon, Mitch. Welcome to the program. Hansa, while I disagree with you, I do respect you allowing free speech. Thank you for the discourse either way. Damian H, certainly appreciate that. Feel free to state why you disagree. You got the special moniker there, so I will certainly see your comment and respond to it, Damian H on YouTube. We're waiting for the box to come through on TikTok. Mark is loaded. He does not care about the economy. Mark? Oh, you mean, what are you talking about? One of my previous guests? Even if Democrats draft their financial accounts hungry and, wait, I didn't see what this is. Hungry and cold. Even if Democrats drain their financial accounts hungry and cold. Well, at the end of the day, when you got what has happened with Trump with the abortion laws, what has happened with Trump with now Christianity being shoved down the throats of children in schools, I don't think bringing back Trump's economy, in my humble opinion, is enough. Let's say the economy was not doing well under Trump, and it did very well under Obama or under Biden. And you knew Obama or Biden was talking about maybe limiting guns or passing some kind of Second Amendment limitations, but they had the better economy. You're not going to vote Trump out of office, who is operating on a platform of shall not be infringed, to get the better economy of Obama or Biden. At this point, I'm going to say with a fair bit of confidence, I don't think the economy that many believe Trump is offering is enough at this point. When you look at the damage that Roe v. Wade and now they're shoving Christianity out, I think that it's gotten strong enough that the economy alone is not going to rescue Trump on that. I'm not saying Trump's going to lose, but I don't think the economy alone is a big enough draw anymore, because a lot of damage is being done in other areas. There's a lot of young fertile moms that are not going to be okay with these strong abortion laws to get $2 gas back. Trump is taking the country further to the right in a lot of areas that the economy alone may not be enough. Looking in the comments, though, Novella Red said Trump is the best there ever was. Wow. Shout out to Novella, one of my female MAGA. I always give shout out to the female Republicans because at the end of the day, a lot of people believe that the women are going to go left, but there's a lot of female MAGA. Nothing wrong with going right, says Dennis. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with going right, depending on what your principles are. Fair enough. On our bill, it says, in America, we trust. No, in God, we trust. But just because the money says in God, we trust, doesn't mean you have to force it down the throat of a child. I mean, a child is not necessarily carrying around a bunch of those bills. And I just personally believe there's a lot more to forcing Christianity down the throat of a child than just in God, we trust. I mean, the 10 Commandments in schools is talking about adultery and thou shalt have no other God before me and things like that. What happens if you have a Muslim child or a Buddhist child or a Jehovah's Witness child in a classroom and the other kids, based on the 10 Commandments saying, beware of other false gods? I mean, what is that kid supposed to say when other kids start saying, my God is the real God and yours is fake? See, it's right there on the board. I mean, this is what could really happen. I mean, the Bible, I believe, also says something to that nature. Thou shalt have no other God before me. So Allah is not a real God. Ours is. See, it's in the book right here. Do you not see how this could cause conflict in the classroom? It's kind of a supremacy play. My God is better than yours. Is this good for children in schools? I mean, is it not a possibility of creating division? Because the information you're teaching them gives them the belief that the God of Christians is better than the gods of all these other religions. To some degree, some would suggest that these other gods are phonies. That maybe Allah is not even a real God. Is that something that is good to promote in schools, to let the kids fight over who, and then they got to go home with their parents, and maybe the Muslim child is at the mosque crying because now he wants to be a Christian because his friends at school told him his God is fake? Okay, we'll look at it. Look at it in the comments. Mina Henderson, agree with you 100%. More division and people not seeing this. Yeah, I don't see how it could not happen. You are really propagandizing this. It's trapped in a blur. I don't see where the propaganda is coming from. Our religion, if you're Christian, really all of the religions, I'm not going to just say Christian, but all of the religions teaches you that your religion is the one and true only religion, and that all the other religions are lesser, if not completely fabricated. That's kind of where, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Beware of false prophets. Isn't that what our religion teaches us? How is that propagandized? And it's coming straight out of the good book. Looking in the comments, Democrats want God removed from everything, says Stacey Johnson. Yeah, some of them do. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but there are Republicans that want God in everything. I don't see how that's any less conflicting. Going to the box. Big Rooster, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Tap the screen, folks. Get the likes on up to 80,000. Big Rooster, what am I getting wrong on this religion in schools?
Tim, you touch on it. It's amazing that the Republican Party says that they're for, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. As for the Supreme Court, did anybody think that they were gonna say that, hey, you don't have any immunity?
I don't know, Big Rooster. I think people did think they weren't going to get immunity.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if they thought that, I got a bunch of lakes in downtown wherever for sale.
I get it.
Waterfront property, for real, Tim. So at it's the Supreme Court is so disappointing to this country that it is. I mean, how could you? First of all, you can't trust any judge. I mean, right down to your traffic court judge. You know what I'm saying? So these guys, like you say, they don't have anyone to answer to. Why would anybody trust them? Like you said, the wives are in the wives are basically in bed with Trump.
The wives are hardcore Trump fans.
Yes,
That's why I believe that if Trump is reelected in November, he would easily be able to convince Justice Alito, who's 74, and Justice Clarence Thomas, who's 75, to step down for the good of the party and let him. So you would have a 6-3. You would have at least a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court for the rest of your life. And Sotomayor and Roberts are both 69. So there is a possibility. Everybody don't live to be 80. There's a possibility that one of them might get replaced as well. So if you get a 7-2, it's a far right America.
Yeah. Well, you know, they say we're only judges and we judge by facts. Yeah, we've seen a lot of facts that you guys judged against. You know.
Yeah.
So with that being said, you know, then on top of that, Trump is just really all for Trump.
But people favor his economy though, Big Rooster. They think his economy is way better than.
Listen, don't get me wrong, Tim. He had a pretty good economy. It wasn't like gas was like $2, like everybo's saying.
Right.
I live in California. Gas hasn't been $2 since Obama.
Yeah, but they gonna blame that on your state's tax laws.
I blame it on our governor.
Right.
And matter of fact, tomorrow we have a new gas tax going in effect. So listen, I don't like Democrats just as much as I don't like Republicans. But like everybody said before me, that said Joe Biden can be on a Teisha. I love Teisha, man. Keep her, bring her back every day.
She wild. She wild like a black Uno card. I like her though.
Right. I like Moo gets a little over the edge, but he has some valid points. I was really disappointed that DJ Julio couldn't come up today because I always go against what he says.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what happened. Julio's certainly a friend of the program. I don't know what happened.
I always go against what he says, but I like to hear what he has to say. And I'm like you, Tim. I appreciate this, but at the same time, I don't think. What Moo said, Moo made a lot of sense of it.
It's interesting you bringing up Moo because L in the comments says fuck Moo. But keep going. What did Moo say? What did Moo say that you agree with?
Listen, I understand why L would say that, but like Moo said, a lot of the Democrats are in the same pockets as these.
True. That's accurate. Yeah, that's accurate.
That's nothing but facts.
Yeah.
So I understand where he's coming from. Yeah. With Trump, the taxes are promised to the billionaires, not to you people that are sitting here on YouTube unless you're billionaires, not to the people that's sitting here in TikTok unless you're a billionaire. These tax breaks are not for you.
Yeah. Now, here's a comment in line with what we're talking about, and I really think that this resonates probably to most of us. When I just just moved, but he was basically saying he really wished people would. Oh, here it is. Andrew Gordon says, "I want people to just." I want people to just go back to the center. This is getting too crazy. Everyone is moving to far ends. What happened to our senses? Where do you think all of this divisive? Did it start with Obama, Trump?
So let me. What happened to our senses is a great question, right? So it speaks to common sense. I'm gonna tell you, I had a friend that's no longer a friend, but she made a lot of sense when she said this, and I want everybody to listen to this. Common sense is a flower that doesn't grow in everyone's garden anymore.
Wait, say common sense. Yikes. Yeah,
so,
I don't disagree.
Common sense is out the window, Tim, and he's totally right. What happened to senses? You can't think for yourself. I mean, man, people look at the things Trump has done and said they don't care, but then you turn right around and look at Hunter Biden and you care. I mean, Hunter Biden was convicted of legally buying a gun, but lied on the application about, not being on drugs or whatever. I mean, it's a victimless crime. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So at the same time, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of crimes that they brought forth on Trump, they could have been squashed,
based,
whatever you want to call it.
They were politically based.
But at the end of the day, he broke the law.
Yeah. So did Hunter Biden.
Exactly. At the end of the day, he broke the law. But here's what I want to say. Joe Biden looked terrible at the debate. I agree. looked terrible. And what was interesting to me is Trump started off really good until he told that first lie. Once he told that first lie, Tim, it was lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. He just couldn't stop. Well, and being that there was no one there to fact check him, he just continued to lie.
I mean, the thing about it is Trump, what gave Trump such a strong win is that he stuck to the script. You're talking about him telling lies. Trump says everything he said there at that debate, at every rally. So it was very easy for Trump, just be yourself. And it did. Now, I want to read this to you. This is coming from Gen X, or certainly a friend of the program, says, considering the insanity and degeneracy the left wants to shove down our throats, I'm fine with a right-leaning lifestyle and government. So in other words, the left is trying to shove things down his throat, so he's okay with the right taking power and doing the exact same thing he hated to others.
Wait a minute, is that Gen Xer
that is the one and only Gen Xer, yes.
Hey man, anybody that don't think a woman should have any kind of power, I don't even respond to that.
Yeah, Gen X doesn't believe. He don't believe women should vote. Right,
Gen Xer thinks he was sprung up from dirt and he didn't have a mother to nurture him and feed him. Or I don't know where his mind is. I'm over that guy. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we need some. I want to agree with everyone that we do need a younger president. I don't know if we want to go all the way progressive, and I don't know if we want to go all the way far right. But we need somebody in there, and I do think that Hakeem Jeffries will be a better leader to this country over any of the candidates right now. Wow. I think Hakeem Jeffries will stand up to. He always does. He stands up to the Republicans. He always has been. You know who I really like also? What's the little guy from New York also? The one that Comer called him a rat. What's the little guy? He's a Democrat.
From what? He's a senator?
No, he's a congressman.
I'm trying to think who you're talking about.
Not Raskin, but the other one. His last name starts with an M. I forgot he's from New York. His last name starts with an M.
I can't think of who you're talking about.
Anyway, that guy. I think he's.
Is he the one that just won over the squad guy?
No. This guy, Moskowitz. They're Moskowitz. No, is it Moskowitz? It's not Moskowitz, is it? It might be, yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, that guy is really good. He points out, he brings up everything. And you know who else I'd like to see? Tim, listen, I'm gonna let you go because I like to keep it short.
Okay.
I'd like to see the young lady from Texas. Bad Bill Beach body.
Oh, the black woman.
Jasmine Crockett.
She going with the eyelashes. The one that Martin Kelly Green talked about the
eyelash.
Yeah, I don't think you have a chance at that one, but okay.
She does not have a snowball chance in hell, but I guarantee you she'd give hell to the Republicans.
Yeah, I think any black woman is going to have an uphill battle. We see what's happened with Kamala.
Yes.
But certainly if you got one that's argumentative like that, they really ain't. They're going to treat her like Caitlin Clark with Reese. You know that ain't going to go well at all. She's going to be public enemy number one.
Hey, listen, Tim, I love you, bro. Please get DJ Julio up here. Even though I don't like the guy, please get him up here because I want to see what he has to say.
All right, I'll see what I can do. He wasn't in the box, but I'll see what I think he was driving something like that, but Julio's always welcome.
That's what it sounded like.
All right,
man, you have a good one. Huh?
You too. Look at in the comments. It's going to be Newsom, says C-Dub. By the way, I think it's just bullshit, but Ted Cruz, senator from Texas, tweeted out this morning that Michelle Obama was going to be put in there. Came from Ted Cruz, of all people. Just obviously, many folks don't believe it. But I said before in the program, if Michelle Obama was to run for president, it is over for Trump. It is completely over. I mean, because there is no policies or scandals to attach to her. What are you going to get up there and say she's a man? That ain't going to do any damn good. So if Michelle Obama was to run, she would be, I'll say this. I don't know if I would want the duty of being a president. We see how it ages people. You're faced with potential assassination and all kinds of awful shit. But if I personally thought the country was going down a path that might be irreversible, I might just do it to save the country. That's what Trump stated is the reason why he became president. And that's also why Biden stated why he ran. Maybe they're just making it up, but I'm just simply saying that, in my opinion, Michelle Obama should come forward with that as a reason. I don't know who she'd have as a running mate. Maybe Newsom, Whitmer, you name it. But I do believe that if Michelle Obama stepped forward and ran, that would probably be the biggest hit Trump could take. I don't think I really remember when Bin Laden was taken out and people ran in the streets, USA. I believe that for the left, a run from Michelle Obama would be very similar to that. People would come out and really celebrate it. Big Rooster, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for your support on their YouTube. Thank you. Andrew Cuomo would do better than Newsom and Kamala, says Gen Xer. Yeah, and that's one of the downfalls of the liberals is that they eat their own too quick. Same thing with, what was the other guy from Minnesota? He was a comedian, and they got rid of him in the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement wrongfully took down a lot of people that might have been beneficial to the liberal party. So I don't, that wasn't John Stewart. Franklin, yeah, Al Franklin. I think, was it Al Franklin or Al Franken? Yeah, that was the guy from Minnesota. Yeah. So, I mean, and what he did was so mild. Compared to grab him by the pussy, I mean, it was nothing remotely close to that. And they took Al Franken out. I mean, it's insane. Look at in the comments. I, for one, would not vote for any Obama, says Miss Kitty. Well, if you're saying you, for one, would not vote for any Obama, chances are you wouldn't vote for any liberal that's running. I'm just speculating. I don't know you from Adam, but if that is your opinion, I would not vote for any Obama. My first analysis is that you probably wouldn't vote for any liberal running. I mean, that's kind of sounds like it probably means you lean right. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what I take. Was Al Franken a senator? Something just happened. I don't know. It moved it up. Anyhow, Michelle versus Trump. Yeah, I think Michelle Obama would beat Trump because there's just no scandals orbiting around her. And we know that Trump is doing a little bit better than expectations with the votes from people of color. Michelle Obama would eliminate that. I do believe, because remember, we're voting for Trump because we don't want a repeat of the Biden economy. Michelle Obama ain't got nothing to do with the Biden economy. You're going to be tying her to Obama. And there's not a lot of things the liberals are really bitching and complaining about from the Obama years. Even a lot of Trump supporters routinely come on the program. Maybe they're making it up. But I get a lot of folks on the program that vote for Trump who say, I actually did vote for Obama too. So even a lot of Trump supporters voted for Obama. And that's who Michelle Obama would be tied to. She wouldn't be tied to Biden. She would be tied to Obama. So all of the negatives of Biden kind of go away with Michelle Obama. She ain't got nothing to do with Burisma. She has nothing to do with Hunter, nothing to do with the Ukraine, none of that. All of the negatives kind of disappear. We're going to bring up school choice that she was promoting. I mean, so her negatives are way less than Joe Biden, far less. Looking in the comments, any Clinton, Obama, or Biden, all crooked and all bad for America, says Trey Landry. I'd be curious to know who you believe that is good for America. My guess is you probably don't view any liberal as being good for America. Fair enough, but I mean, when you group them all like that, it sounds like you're pretty far to the right. Stop trying to imagine Michelle Obama running. She does not run. I don't think she's going to run, but I'm repeating it because that's what Ted Cruz said. It's not me imagining she was going to run. Ted Cruz, Texas senator, is the one tweeted it out. this morning, by the way, Michelle will continue the same crap that Joe Biden and her husband are doing to destroy this country. Maybe Timothy Chiles, but that is speculation. You don't know that. Because her husband did not do the same things Joe Biden is doing. Her husband had a much more favorable presidency than Joe Biden. So how you would tie Michelle Obama into Joe Biden is just, I don't know where that's coming from. There's no evidence to suggest that would happen. Guilty as charged. I got pissed, drunk, and voted Obama thinking it was funny and fucking shocked when he won, says the Gen X. So there you go. Gen X is MAGA, and he voted for Obama. Going back to the box, we'll keep it moving. Tony the MAGA. Okay, that's a unique name. Tony the MAGA is something. I can't read the rest of that. Tony, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing there?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on. So, go ahead.
So, Biden really had a very bad performance, and it's not just about, being slow and looking into space like he does sometimes. It was all he couldn't put together. He pretty much validated everything they've been saying about it.
I don't disagree with any of that. But do you think it's going to? You think it's going to lead people to switch their vote?
No. That's the other thing, that just because people are a little upset about Biden, they are not switching over to Trump. In fact, this election boils down to who are the independents and the swing voters going to vote for.
Right. Now with a name like you're voting for Trump. Am I correct?
I said Tony the MAGA whisperer.
Right. So you're obviously deeply into MAGA. So how do you feel about this?
No. The whisperer is like a dog whisperer. You try to get him to behave and tone down and shit. The dog whisperer.
Oh, you like Caesar? What is that guy's name?
Yeah, and I happen to be Latino like him too.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is they did a focus group of independents and swing voters during the debate. And when Trump started just rattling off these lies, lie after lie, his numbers went down. You know how they tracked the line there, and it started, and they didn't. He did not win any independents or swing voters.
Yeah, I don't, and I said that earlier in the program. I think that the vision that they're offering for America is so far apart that, it doesn't matter who Biden is. You could probably put any liberal in there, because Biden, as bad as he sounds, the fact is, even a large portion of the Democratic Party believes he should step down. Yet, in all polls, he is competitive with Trump, because it is Trump running against Trump. He's not running against Biden. So Biden is going to be competitive just simply because there's so many never Trumpers and I hate Trump people out there.
Yeah, that's true. So we have to see the poll numbers to see if he still stays within the margin of error of Trump. Obviously Trump is going to get a boost from this, but it might be minimal.
I don't know. Especially because keep in mind, Trump is running on the belief that if you reelect him, he'll get us out of this bad economy and he will improve things financially for us. Biden is running on Trump is trying to destroy a democracy, and if you put me back in, I'll restore the soul of this nation. I believe the Supreme Court ruling today may actually work for Biden, because a lot of folks believe that does look like Trump is getting some kind of special privileges that should not be given to a president.
That's true. And the Supreme Court ruling is gives Biden license to go after Trump. Just. But that's not the case. That's never going to happen. But what I really want.
I don't know. I would have said January 6th was never going to happen. I would have said using abortion laws from the 1800s. That's never going to happen. Forcing Bibles at be in schools. There's so many things that are happening now that if you had said this stuff was going to happen 10 years ago, they would have called you a liberal fearmonger. There's a lot of very unique things happening now.
Yeah, that's true. But what I wanted to talk about was how Kamala could win.
What do you think of Kamala?
I like her a lot. I think she's gotten a lot of momentum, and people have started to. I mean, they were like kind of ridiculing her for a while because she was laughing too much and all that, and they played that on the Fox Loop But I think she's found her voice with the Roe v. Wade thing. And she has some, a lot of support, a lot of excitement. I've seen her at some speeches. They look like rallies. But the thing is, they don't think she can win because she's a woman, because she's black, whatever. But I think she can win based on, the first choice I think people are thinking about is Gavin Newsom. They like him. He has a good-looking family, straight out of central casting. But I mean, that's gonna tear up the Democratic Party. Say, what about Kamala? Should she be the one?
Well, here's the problem. When it comes to these folks at this level, they are more egotistical and thinking more of themselves than the party or the country. I mean, like in Kamala's case, just like in Joe Biden's case, instead of focusing on your own ego, you should probably step down for the good of the country. Now, I believe that Trump should do the same, but these individuals believe that, look, I want to win. Even if it might be better off for the country, if they might step down and let somebody else in that more people would favor. And I would say the same about Kamala. I think that Kamala, because people hate Trump, might remain competitive. But at the end of the day, I don't think there's a lot of love for Kamala out there.
Well, okay, so this is how, Gavin looks good, Kamala not so much. But what if they were to combine a ticket? What if it was Kamala for president? Because she's not going to go vice president. She's not going to do vice president. Kamala for president, Gavin for vice president. I think that's a winning ticket.
I think that ticket would probably do somewhere near along the same lines that Biden is doing. I mean, it would be competitive. I don't think a Kamala at the head of a ticket with Gavin Newsom as the VP would be a guaranteed victory over Trump. I think it would still remain competitive because there's so many liberals that hate Trump, but I'm not sure that Trump wouldn't beat that ticket. I think the winning ticket is obviously Michelle Obama, who's not running, but other than Michelle Obama, I don't know any other liberal that I feel confident can beat Trump. They may win, but I think with Michelle Obama, I'm talking 2-1 odds. But anybody else, maybe you win, maybe you lose.
But you're I don't think you're taking into consideration the Roe v. Wade thing. I think that has a lot. Everywhere they have the momentum, everywhere they have a vote, even in Kansas, even in Ohio, it is a winner. And I think it's because women vote and they are very motivated to get their rights back. And I think that could be the way she could ride it into the presidency. Yeah,
I do believe that there's going to be a lot of women voting based on abortion. However, there's a lot of women. I've seen them in MAGA rallies being covered on YouTube all over. There's a lot of women that don't believe a woman should be president. A lot of women that do not believe a woman should be president. And then Kamala is black. And what is she, native from India, whatever the case may be, the country of India.
From India.
That stuff is not necessarily going to work to her behalf. I'm not saying everybody's a damn racist, but there are racists out there. We seen Ann Coulter on television saying she liked Vivek Ramaswamy, but she wouldn't vote for him simply because he's Indian. There are other people like that. So maybe Gretchen Whitmer might do better in that position than Kamala.
Well, I don't know. I think Kamala could bring back a lot of blacks who have wandered off into the Trump camp. She could definitely maybe consolidate some of the youth vote.
You think? Wait. You think an African American that's voting for Trump would come back because Kamala's running?
I think she might attract some of them.
That's a shocker. I'd have to see that. Wow, I don't know about that one.
Maybe. Right. There might be some solidarity there.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think she could attract a lot of the youth that has wandered off.
I don't see a lot of Democratic love for Kamala. I don't see her giving good speeches and things. That's why I said Michelle Obama. Folks are energized by her speeches and things like that. I don't see any of that coming from Kamala. She got those.
Think about it. I mean, how did she go from being an Attorney General of California to
Don't ask that question. Don't ask that question. I got too many MAGA in here to ask that question of how did Kamala rise in the ranks. I don't know if you know her history or not, but it's certainly going to come up.
With the whole thing with Willie Brown, but she got elected anyway. But in spite of the stuff from Willie Brown. But I mean, her rise has been pretty impressive, meteoric, and she is a good speaker, and she can give a compelling speech. She does have that ability.
Yeah, I met her in person, 2022. I got a picture somewhere. It's actually on the device I'm talking to you on, but me, hugging. She's a really little woman, but I don't know. The support for Kamala hasn't been there. I don't know. I'd have to see it.
At one point, she was leading in the primaries, but she just fell out. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I guess.
And then she called Biden a racist, and I got to tell you, a lot of folks that are not people of color do not like hearing folks being called racist. So I don't even know if that works for her.
Yeah, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I feel like Biden needs to step aside and let a fresh face come in. I'm thinking it's because of the politics of priority. They have seniority issues in the Democratic Party. Oh, it's my turn. And if you don't put Kamala up, you're going to divide the women and some of the minorities.
Not if Kamala gets up there and says it's right. If Kamala is fighting and pushing back, it would divide the women. But if Kamala gets up there and actually endorses the person that's put in her place, that wouldn't happen. I got to move it on, though, Tony. Appreciate you coming through. The Maga Whisperer. All right. Appreciate it.
I gotta calm those canines.
Good talk. Looking in the comments, Jen Xer says Kamala shined up her knee pads and up she went. I knew when he was asking that question. Like, don't even ask that shit. How did Kamala rise in the ranks and knowing that that's in her history? But the weird thing is, you hear this about Kamala from the right, and they never bring it up in reference to Melania Trump. Melania, you talk about sleeping her way to the top. You don't think Melania did any of that? I mean, everything about Melania says she's a trophy wife. I mean, everything about her. You can even, because folks go, well, Michelle Obama's a man. I'm like, yeah. And we know that Melania's not, because you can Google nude photos of her vagina. You know she got a vagina because you can actually go online and see it. So I don't know. But it's odd that people say that, Kamala did all this and they view Melania as if somehow her and Trump just got together. That's an organic relationship based on love. Federal court says Melania is not in politics. No, neither is Hunter Biden, but he comes up. Hunter Biden ain't in politics either. They're all over him. Melania posed with other women too. Did she? I want to see that. Really? She got a what did the girl tell Marjorie Taylor bad bit? Now she got a really good built body. I like to see it. Really, she got with other women, huh? Shout out to Melania. I ain't saying she's a gold digger. Oh, I know how that goes. Hunter getting federal cash from the Ukraine. I haven't seen solid evidence of it. All I know is the laptop is out there. People were accusing Hunter Biden of being guilty of things on the laptop. But I will tell you this. In regards to the Hunter Biden laptop, the chain of custody for that laptop leaves a lot of questions to be asked. I mean, it was literally purchased by Fox News. Fox News, along with Rudolph Giuliani, are the people that went on Hunter Biden's laptop to get all that information off of there. Is it wrong to question whether these men might have been biased against Hunter Biden and planted something on his laptop? Is it wrong to even ask that? Hunter Biden's laptop was deciphered by Fox News and Rudolph Giuliani. And we're supposed to just believe everything they released, huh? Looking in the comments, yeah, but they saved the iCloud storage the day before. Let me just say this. You would not trust some information that was meant to be harmful to Trump that came to you by those means. I don't give a damn what date is on the iCloud. If the information came to you about Trump through that pathway, you would not trust it. Period. That's all I'm trying to say. Looking in the comments, Melania was a supermodel when Trump started courting her. Jill was a teenage babysitter unable to legally drive when Biden started courting her. Well, in regards to courting juveniles, we got to bring up the fact that Trump is on television saying that if she wasn't my daughter, I would be dating her, and she was underage. Do we excuse that while she was sitting on his lap? I mean, Trump stated that was it on The View when he said that? If she was not my daughter, I'd be dating her. The only reason a man would say he would be dating a woman is because he views her as fuckable. No man talks about, I would be dating a girl that he don't want to hit. That's just man talk. We want to talk about locker room talk? This is locker room talk. The man said, if she wasn't my daughter, I would be dating her. You gonna tell me ain't no suspicion to that? Come on now, let's be honest with each other, folks. Looking in the comments, and by the way, yeah, I see somebody put out the Howard Stern show where Trump did say that Ivanka was a hot piece of ass. And he's also on television saying that, I believe they had Trump and Ivanka on television, Ivana or Ivanka, whatever his daughter's name is. And they asked him, what do you and your daughter have in common? And he said, our sex life. You want to bring up Biden? I mean, do we ignore all of this and only focus on Biden? I mean, he did say this stuff. And it's not coming from MSNBC or CNN or some publication. He's on video saying it. If she wasn't my daughter, I would be dating her. That's about as clear of a sign to say I find her so attractive that if I wasn't related to her, I would be trying to hit that. Are we supposed to ignore that and go back to the child sniffer? Let me know. That's not his daughter. Wake up and research. She was underage, Jay Rich. She was underage when he said it. Does it matter? You're trying to say it wasn't his, she was underage. She was a minor. The Jill Biden story is now completely debunked, and you guys put it in the comments all over YouTube. But they're going to say it was debunked by folks that were favorable to Biden. And Joseph Kuhn says dating doesn't mean fucking. Really? You just go around dating girls you don't have no sexual attraction to. You just like spending money on dates when you ain't trying to hit it. Define the word simp without coming out and saying I'm a simp. What guy does some shit like that? I'm just going to go and take women on dates that I don't find attractive and I ain't trying to hit. Who the hell does that? What are you, Steve Urkel now? Going back to the box. Insane. You can defend Trump without being illogical. Really? You just go around taking chicks out on dates. What are you, big brothers and big sisters? Miss Mo Better. I ain't trying to hit it. I just want to take you out on a date. Miss Mo Better.
I just want to go have something to eat. That's all.
Yeah. Is that what happens? Guys trying to take you out on dates and they ain't trying to hit it?
Yeah, right. In which world? Like, right. Come on, man. Like, this is the hardest part about MAGA. You already know that because they are not gonna say that Trump did anything. Yeah. They're gonna go to the death with it.
Yeah, you can defend. There's legitimate reasons to defend Trump, but on this one, you can't defend him. The idea that he says he would be dating her and that don't mean he want to hit it is insane.
That's a fact. He's just an insane man. You know, he I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. Well, he know because of his following. You know, he likes the public eye. He likes the attention, and they're giving it to him. So this is what's making him that winner because he don't, whether win or lose, as long as he's getting that attention, he's winning. He's winning. And people keep getting. Now, I keep saying the more I talk to them, the dumber I get. The more you try to come at them, the dumber I get.
But Trump did have a good day today, did he not?
Oh yeah, of course it's a win. It's bigly for him.
And last week at the debates was a big week for him too, was it not?
But see, the sad thing about it is America's losing.
Yeah.
He's winning, America's losing. You're losing the trust of your people.
Well, but some folks do believe that bringing Christianity back, the nuclear family, some folks believe that what's going on in this country is protecting the life of the unborn is actually good.
They're full of shit, too. You know why? Because, again, you'll have all of these babies around. Look at the orphanages. Look at how many orphanages and foster care that's out here with all of these babies and stuff that are not being supported, that weren't aborted.
Yeah.
So, and that's but they always talk about America first, America this, but oh, you sending all your money over there. So why is our homelessness so big? Yeah. Why is our education system failing?
Yeah. So, my guess is what's going to happen if you start saving the lives of the unborn. You know, we got some women who may have 2 or 3 kids and where they may have used abortion as birth control. Once that is stopped and they cannot do that, and these children are coming to fruition, and the woman doesn't have a decent job and she's creating all these kids she can't afford, they're going to start talking about punishing that woman, castration, or throwing it. Yeah, they're going to start talking about, well, if you got 4 or 5 kids out there that you can't afford and you keep having more kids, it's time to do something about you.
But see, the thing is, they don't even want to provide birth control either. Yeah. So how could you have it all make this shit make sense? Yeah. You don't want them to have abortions, but what's one of your guests said? Oh, well, maybe they need to stop fucking or fuck responsibly. Only people that's unfuckable speak like that. Don't nobody want your ass. Oh my God. He's unfuckable. So of course you gonna say that. Your wife probably don't even want to fuck. So shut the fuck up with that bullshit. I haven't
heard the term unfuckable since I tried to holler at somebody. So at the end of the day, then you do see that there is a legitimate possibility we may have Trump back in office again.
Oh yeah, of course. He never denied that. His numbers are high. He does have high numbers as of right now. You know, I'd be a fool to deny that. Yeah. You know, I'd be a fool. Would I vote for him? Absolutely not. That doesn't change my views.
What about Biden at the debate? You think Biden should step down?
No, ride it till the wheels fall off.
I think the wheels. Some would suggest the wheels are already off and he's riding on rims.
Listen, let me tell you something. There's people, like I said, I have an aunt right now who's 99 years old. She lives alone. She drives and is on no medication. It could be done. Is he doing it a little slow? Absolutely.
You feel confident that if we reelect Biden, he's going to give us another good 4 years or 4 years?
He's just going to have to build a team around him that's really strong. He's got to continue to run with a strong team. Because you think that even though with him being his age now, you think that he doesn't have a team that's advising him on these things? So he's not as terrible as people think he is. Yeah, like I said, and Trump, he seems like he got all this energy because he's full of Regeneron. The stuff that he was telling his people not to take. Let's really get into it if you want to get into it.
Oh shit. Well, I will say this. You said that Biden has advisors around him. My guess is, wouldn't they be telling him to step down? When you look at Biden out there at the debate, suggesting that he had a cold or something like that, you had a half a dozen people or more prepping you for the debate. They knew you had a cold and they sent you out there anyway. It literally looks like Weekend at Bernie's. If you sounded like that, they should have told the folks, listen, he can't come out tonight. Yeah, the right would have said he's a coward or he's speculating or whatever. Yeah, but it would have been better than what we saw.
Either way. It's a lose-lose either way, Tim. If he would have came out there sick, at least he was able to complete a full fucking sentence and answer the questions that was asked. Trump talked around every question that was asked. He deflected every question that they asked him. He deflected.
And I see in the comments some folks pointed out that that Biden suddenly did not have a cold the next day or even later that night at the after party.
Of course they're going to say that because they're maggots. Maggots will do that.
I don't know, Mr. Babetta, even though politically we may agree on some things, I think you're giving Biden too many high marks. I mean, the guy looked bad, and you're saying he could make 4 more years.
Bad night. How many times? All right, he did that. He came out. He was like awful. The turtle in the hair.
He was awful.
Like it was the turtle in the hair on that debate. But his speech at the rally in North Carolina the next day, you don't hear them talking about that, and I know you saw that too.
Yeah, but that's the argument.
He came out a whole different man.
Right, but that is what Trump has been saying from day one, is that Biden cannot do anything without a teleprompter. The stuff you're talking about, he had the teleprompter.
He has a lot of nerve. He can't read. That's why he don't like teleprompters. And if you go back, and this was him on video speaking, oh, the teleprompter guys did a bad job. I paid them to do this, and the teleprompter. No, just tell your ass can't read.
Okay, and so Biden should ride it into the wheel.
He can count money. I'll give him that. He can count. His ass can't read, though.
And Biden should ride it until the wheels fall off.
Right until the wheels fall off. Why quit now?
Because he might lose?
Why quit? Why quit now?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's old. Yeah, all right, he's old. Why quit now?
I got one that you can have fun with. You know I don't block, ban, or censor. You'll love this one. This is coming from the YouTube side. This is always about thick skin. You know how we do it. Joseph Kuhn says, caller, do you use the same chapstick on all your lips, or do you use a second chapstick for your beef curtains?
You know what? See, this is what happens when mothers don't tell their sons that their uncle is also their father. You see what it does is it messes with their psyche. It messes with their psyche. So, you know, chapstick, no chapstick, or whatever. Like that's what happens when you mix genes like that. When you keep the genes in the family like that, it fucks people up in the head. And he's proof.
Damn it! You like heckling a comedian. You was the wrong one for that. Oh my God! Your uncle is also your father. All right. You win that shit.
Yep.
All right, I gotta move it on, Miss. Oh my God.
Now listen, if they want to do it, I have time all day.
Yeah, I see that. You was the wrong one for that. All right, I'll move it on. Appreciate you coming through. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Sometimes you want to say some things. She wasn't the one to say it to. Damn. And I see in the comments, he responded and said, at least I know who my father is. Wow, you guys are bad. Oh my God. Moving the program on though. Handsome, you're wrong. No real people debunked it, not just people on Biden's side. What was I wrong about? What did no real people debunk? I'd be curious. Let me know. Every time I travel to other countries, we completely get demolished talking about how much a joke our politics are. Michael Sutton, I don't doubt that, but my guess is that didn't start with Trump or Biden, because I used to live in Australia, and even during those years, that would have been the Bush years. I was there when Obama became president, and they were trashing us then too. One of the things that I often heard people trashing us for is pretending as though we have some kind of patent on freedom. You guys are always yelling how free you are, and you're the freest country in the world. People are like, what can you do over there we can't do here? And I didn't really have an answer for that. Other than I can own a gun and shoot up a bunch of people, but outside of that, they point out, well, gay marriage is legal here, or I can smoke a joint, or I can go hire a prostitute. So the idea that America has some kind of patent on freedom is kind of insulting to a lot of other countries. And a lot of countries often speak out about that. Looking in the comments, though, I'm just scared now for the cities and the people, not for myself, nor for my town. Scared how? Susan, I'd like to know that answer. You don't have to be a Klan member. Laughing my ass off. No, you don't. And your mind messed up when you need to be on some medicine. I think most Americans 40 nowadays are on some kind of medicine. What's your point there? I mean, isn't the right saying the primary cause of folks taking people out is mental illness? A lot of Americans are on medicine, even kids. So I don't know where you're going with that. That is so funny you said that. I was in Australia when that comment came my way. Michael Sutton, I used to live in Brisbane, third largest city in the country. Continuing on with the program, S. Friday, friend of the show. Good afternoon, ESS.
What's going on, brother?
Not much at all. Good to have you back on. The Supreme Court ruled today looks like in Trump's favor. What say you?
Hey, man. I mean, my view. I can't see myself voting for Trump. I think it's a good ruling. I think it's needed. I mean, think about it. If somebody wanted to go and sue Biden or, have him charged for letting all these people come into our country unvetted, they would have every right to. But now they can't because, just like this protects Trump, it also protects Biden. Everybody's pointing out the downfalls and how it protects Trump, but what they're not seeing and pointing out is the way that it protects, the Democrats as well. So
that's very well said. I like that. I didn't think of that. That is very well said. So
it's a double-edged sword, and no matter what decisions are ever made, there's always going to be a double-edged sword to everything they do.
But do you think that January 6th, on that day, Trump was acting in official capacity, like they're kind of indicating?
I mean, if he's claiming that he thought the election was stolen, if he truly felt that way,
I mean, he does have an obligation. I mean, I could see. It's not about what we know; it's about what we can prove. And I don't think.
Well, wait. We can prove quite a bit. We can prove that everyone responsible for checking into the integrity of the election on January 6th told Trump he lost. Barr, Pence, we can prove that he sent those folks out and then came back to him and told him, sir, you lost. At what point is he responsible for knowing he lost?
Right, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, you'll find out. I don't think they're dropping the charges. They're still going to go through with the charges, and they're still going to try to prove that this wasn't in an official capacity, that this was for personal gain, is what they're going to try to prove.
Yeah, but I'm going with your statement, though, that he, listen, he thought he won. And what I'm saying is, at what point is he liable for knowing he lost? I mean, because Trump's going to believe he won no matter who tells him he lost, no matter what data he sees. He cannot be convinced he lost. But at what point is he legally obligated to know he didn't win? Or do we just allow him to be able to do whatever he wants on the guys that he thinks he won, no matter who tells him he lost?
I wish I had an answer. I don't have an answer for it. I really don't. Yeah. I don't. I mean, that's a good question. I really don't know, and I think that's for the courts to decide. And I think that's why I said I don't see them dropping charges. I think they're still going to go through with it, and it's going to be up to the court whether or not, at what point it was no longer a official capacity. I don't have an answer. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, your top cop that you hired checked into the Ruby Freeman thing, checked into the dead people voting, and he came back and told you, sir, you lost. Like, you've had recounts in Arizona, multiple audits in Georgia. Like, are we just in a situation where nothing is going to convince me I lost? I am going to believe I won no matter what you come back with.
Right. The problem is we don't know what he knows. We don't know what everybody else knows. I mean, yeah, we know what the news says. We know what the higher ups are coming out and saying. I don't know. I mean, there's always
if Trump. Wait, hold on. If you said we don't know what people know. If Trump knew something that proved he won the election, you would know to it. Would come out at the rallies. I mean, the fact is he's not offering evidence because he doesn't have it. He wouldn't be keeping that quiet with all of the flack he's taking about the election. If he has something solid, he would tell you.
Well, once again, the problem is, and we've spoke about this before, Tim, there's no way they could have investigated it thoroughly that quick. I mean, you think about some of the...
It's been 3 years.
Coming from a law enforcement perspective, I mean, dude, there's no way that you could truly investigate this in that quick of a time frame. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that would take years to investigate.
That's a good point. So then I have to ask you the obvious question. If you're saying there's no way they could properly investigate it this quickly, then why the hell is he saying he won by a landslide? He hasn't received the investigation results.
Exactly. I agree with you in that aspect, but that's what I'm saying. I think he feels like he truly won and that he was cheated. And I think the fact that it wasn't thoroughly investigated is why he thinks that he still won. I mean, if there was a thorough investigation and they went through it and they investigated it to a T.
How much? But that's the problem is, at what level do you feel this is a complete investigation? We got states out there like Georgia that have ran an audit 3 times and hand counted all the votes. At what point do you accept that this investigation is complete?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because even Pennsylvania, Governor Wolf came out and admitted in Pennsylvania that there was a lot of inconsistencies. He said that there was a lot of things that happened that shouldn't have happened. Just the way that they went around the election laws, like.
Yeah, but I
have to pull up exactly what he said verbatim, but there were a lot of issues in Pennsylvania alone. And
right.
I only know that because I live in Pennsylvania.
But the thing about it is we're making it sound like all of the inconsistencies favored Democrats. We completely ignore people actually pleading guilty to cheating for the Republicans. There were inconsistencies on both sides. Where is the I won by a landslide? Where is that coming from? He thinks that I get it, but what is it based on?
Right. Well, I'm not the one making that claim. He is. So, I mean,
right.
You have to ask.
But why don't we know that? Why don't we know that by now? It's been 3+ years. Why don't we know why he's saying that?
I just don't think he can admit You know that he
Yeah,
lost.
that sounds better. He don't think he can admit he lost.
I think he has a hard time admitting when for one, I mean, you know Trump, he don't ever want to admit when he's wrong.
Yeah.
And two, he don't ever like to be wrong. And three, he don't like to lose.
Yeah.
So he can't admit when he's wrong. He don't like to be wrong, and he don't want to lose. He don't like admitting that he lost.
And I think just like what 9 Leah said in the comments, that's it. But every piece of evidence out there shows this is. And by the way, because you mentioned there's no way they could have investigated that quick. I use that same response when I often tell people, how the hell did January 6th get so far out of hand? As you pointed out, January 6th is even closer. Now we're talking 2 months and 2 days. There was no way in hell there was enough investigation from that election for them people to go there and act like that.
I agree with you.
Yeah, the idea that you're saying that the election is being stolen on January, it's only 2 months and 2 days after the election. There is no evidence for these people to be going insane like that. Or for Giuliani, Trump, or any of them to be on stage telling those folks that.
Well, I think a lot of that was with the media also, and Fox News, when I say media, I think a lot of it's what Fox News was feeding. I mean, when you're showing clips of people pulling suitcases out and you're making it sound like, you know, these are all Biden votes that were being pulled out after hours when nobody was watching, what do you expect the country to think, Tim? I mean, you know, you can't expect the country to think that this was a legal and a fair election when you got news outlets posting videos showing, you know, ballots being counted after hours when no one's watching. I mean...
And I do agree that Fox News is certainly responsible for a lot of the problems, because even if you're looking at ballots being counted after hours when nobody's watching, why assume they're automatically counting them for Democrats? That's because Fox News audience leans right. Trump has already told you long before the election started that they're going to cheat. So you've already been sort of groomed to some degree. You're already expecting the Democrats to cheat. So anything that looks funky, you're going to automatically assume, yeah, there it goes. He already told us they were going to cheat. There you go. So it didn't take much because you're already kind of grooming the audience before it begins.
No, I don't think this would have been an issue, though, had they not... I mean, I get it. You know, COVID was a thing at the time. But honestly, if you want to vote, go to the booth and vote. I think the mail-in ballots is what had everyone questioning whether it was real or fake, you know. And I think it's going to be different this year because the states aren't going to be able to get away with everyone mailing in their votes anymore. You know, it's going to go back to the old times where you got to go in and you have to vote in person.
But mail-in ballots, I have to bring this up. I think I've brought it up on lives before, but Pennsylvania changed the way they vote to allow mail-in ballots, blaming COVID and social distancing as the reason they done it. Texas sued Pennsylvania, stating that the changes they made were going against their own constitution. So Texas sued Pennsylvania, saying you can't make these changes, they're unconstitutional. When Texas sued Pennsylvania, you know who came forward? The governor of Montana came forward. He was on This Week with George Stephanopoulos on ABC, and he stated, we made the exact same changes they did in Pennsylvania, but Trump is not suing us because he won here. So if the changes are wrong, then that means the votes in Montana should have been audited too. There was no call for that from Trump. He was totally fine with what happened because, hey, I won. I don't care.
Listen, I agree with you. And I think if they would have lost, I think Democrats would have done the same thing on the other side, you know?
No, Democrats did not challenge Montana. Even though they lost, they did not challenge Montana.
And was it a big margin or was it a close margin? I don't recall.
I don't know what the margin was. They didn't challenge. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. The margin in North Carolina was close. Trump won North Carolina. And once again, leading up to the election, Trump was hosting rallies saying that they were cheating in North Carolina for Biden because Biden was ahead in the polls. Trump was saying that North Carolinians was cheating in the election. At the end, Trump caught up and won that state. Once he won, no more claim about fraud ever again, even though he had been saying it for weeks. So it's like you're admitting that the state you won had a lot of fraud in it, but because you won, you suddenly don't care about it no more.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, too. I mean, why are the Dems going to challenge it if they won the election? They would have no need to challenge it. You know what I'm saying?
Then nobody, if you're taking that stance, You don't need to challenge something because you won. Then you're not for a free and fair election. You just want to win. If that's the mindset, I'm only going to challenge something that looks wrong if I lose. But if I win, then there's no need to challenge it, even though I'm saying it was fraudulent. Then that means you actually don't care about fraud. You just want to win.
I mean, Tim, think about it this way. If, I don't know, if you raced horses, okay, but your horse got first place, but the horse that got third place you think was poisoned, do you care? Like, I don't want to say do you care, but are you going to care to investigate whether something happened to that third place horse or no?
If I'm running a nation where I'm supposed to do what's good for all the people in there, I'm supposed to challenge that horse. That's a different comparison. You're claiming that you want free and fair elections while ignoring the fact that you won a state that you were on tape saying there was a lot of fraud in that state. It's a difference between owning a horse and being president. You're supposed to be for the people, for the election, for free and fair elections. But it's clear so you don't care about fraud.
Use the election as an example. If you were running against Trump and you beat Trump, I mean, and you beat him, you didn't even need, North Carolina. Are you going to bring up and try to raise an issue with how close it was? Like, put yourself in Biden's shoes. Are you and your campaign really going to go ahead and make a big deal about it? You already won.
If I am on tape constantly saying that they're cheating in this state and I win the state, in my opinion, I'm obligated to do something about that. You don't. If you want free and fair election, because that fraud could happen again in the future. Remember, Trump stated when he came down the escalator, it's all rigged. Then when he won the election in 2016, he suddenly didn't care about the system being rigged again until 2020. It seems pretty clear. It seems pretty clear that he don't care about a fraudulent election as long as he wins.
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing. You and I are on the same page.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, because he said the election was rigged in 2016 and was elected to office and could have done something to fix it. Did not do anything because he was happy he won and left it that way. Then all of a sudden in 2020, oh my God, the rigging just cost me my job. Then that's on you. You dropped the ball. What were you trying to do when you was holding all these rallies, talking about Biden, talking about Nancy Pelosi? You should have been fixing the rigged system you claimed it was out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. That's the one thing I will say is if he gets back in, if he wins, I think he better do something about the elections, or everyone's going to look at, which is going to be too late because he can't run again.
Yeah,
everyone's going to look at him as okay, you were just lying this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you truly feel like this election was rigged and that you won, you better do something about it when you get back into office.
And I don't think he will, because just like you pointed out, once he won a state, as you used the horse example, why would you look into it? You already won. Well, once he wins again, he knows he's not running anymore. I don't think he's going to look into any past elections.
Once he wins again, so are you saying you think he's going to win?
I'm saying it's possible.
All right.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, do you find it hypocritical of a lot of the Democrats? So a lot of these Democrats have came out and said that they want Biden to
step down.
But there's a lot of Democrats, even on your live, I've heard say, no, he needs to stay in and run.
True.
So now, had that been Trump, they would have said, see, these guys are loyal to Trump. No matter what he does, they're going to vote for him. Well, do you not think it's hypocritical for Democrats to not call for Biden to step down?
Yes, I do. And my first guest, Moo, even pointed it out. He refers to it as the blue coat. Yeah, it's hypocritical. And they're going to, like I said, I don't mind conceding the point. I'm not just going to bang folks on the right and support everything the blue does. No, there's plenty of bad things. Yeah, I agree. The Democrats are being, hypocrites. Biden should step down. There's no denying that, in my opinion, at least. And by the way, folks who are saying they're going to vote for him are like, yeah, but I think Kamala will be okay to finish. Most of the folks that are going to vote for Trump and want him to stay in there are admitting he probably won't give a full 4 years. So you're admitting he's unfit.
But these people saying that Kamala could step up and this, that, and the other, 9 out of 10 times when you ask them, what has she done? Like, nobody can name anything Kamala has done as VP. I don't know one thing. She was supposed to figure out, the funny part is they were going to fix this issue with the illegal immigrants coming up here. They were going to fix the border crisis. because they were going to go down and find the root cause of what's causing it. Well, what's her update on it?
Well, I mean, do you look at Mike Pence and see a whole bunch of accomplishments? The VPs don't normally do much.
Right, but then why are Democrats out here saying that they think Kamala could step up and do the job? Like, what has she done that makes you think that she can do that?
Well, she was in a position of leadership in California, so they believe it from that standpoint. Like I said, Mike Pence, a lot of folks because he ran for president. He had supporters. He ain't do nothing when he was vice president either. People were going to support him. Vivek ain't done shit. Look how many people were going to support Vivek. That's just how it goes.
Right. And then one last thing I want to talk to you, the whole black jobs. What's your opinion on it? You think that was a racist comment or no?
I don't think it was favorable to the black community whatsoever. I'm not going to call it racist, but it wasn't favorable. I mean, when we say illegal immigrants are coming in this country and taking black jobs, first thing I'm going to think of is what kind of jobs do illegal immigrants normally come in this country and take? And they are shitty-ass jobs. So it's not favorable.
So I asked that question because, once again, this is another hypocritical thing I'm seeing here on TikTok, is a lot of these liberals are pointing out, oh, that's racist, you know.
It ain't
what's
good.
A black job? You know, what jobs is black people specifically? And that's not what Trump was even saying. Trump was saying that all these guys coming in, they're going to start taking jobs from black people, not specifically that.
He used the term. No, he used the actual quote, black jobs. He said that. I heard him. Okay, you didn't. You repeated it without using the phrase "black jobs." He said "black jobs."
But what led to him saying that? They were talking about black unemployment. Okay. So all these illegals coming into the country, they're going to be taking white jobs too.
He didn't say that. He said black.
I know they didn't say that, but
we're going by what he said.
The question was about black unemployment, which is why he kept hitting on black jobs. He wasn't specifically trying to say that only black people have certain jobs. And for the Democrats and liberals to sit here and say that that's racist and, you know, start questioning, well, what's a black job? What's a black job? It's very hypocritical, because if you listen to their lives when they talk about Hispanics and why Hispanics help us and they're not it's not a threat. Well, what are they saying? They're coming over here to do what? Pick our crops, do X, Y, Z. Well, is that not racist now? I mean, if you have an issue with Trump
listen, I can't speak on what other people say. I'm just simply, you asked me about Trump's statement. I told you I don't necessarily see it as racist, but it is very unfavorable to the black community. I don't see nothing positive in regards to the black community about what he said, but I do see a lot negative. I'm thinking if illegal immigrants are coming in this country and taking jobs, which is what he talked about, and he said they're taking black jobs, that's an actual quote, I have to look at black people and think, your jobs are being taken by an illegal immigrant. What jobs do illegal immigrants come in this country and take? They're not taking physicians. They're not taking jobs of astronauts and rocket science. They're coming in and picking oranges and shit. I mean, that's what actually is happening.
Well, that's not true. And you're proving the point that I'm trying to make. Is a lot of liberals and Democrats think that Hispanics are crossing the border and only doing crop jobs. But that's so far from the truth. I mean, Hispanics hold so many different jobs.
What jobs when somebody tell you jobs that normally illegal immigrants take, give me some examples of jobs.
Roofing, siding, inside interior home construction, picking crops. I mean, you can go down the list.
Right. All collar jobs that require very little education.
Right, working at Hispanic stores, a lot of Hispanic restaurants. You don't see white people and black people in a Hispanic, restaurant.
I repeat, all blue-collar jobs that require very little education. That's what black jobs are?
Well, I disagree. I don't think that's what black jobs are.
I asked you what type of jobs do illegal immigrants take, because Trump said they're taking them from black people. I asked you personally, when you think of jobs that illegal immigrants are taking, what are they? You gave me a whole laundry list of jobs that require no education.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So what was the question that led Trump to say that? They were talking about black unemployment. So all these illegals coming over here are going to hurt the black unemployment because they're going to be taking black jobs. When he says that, he doesn't mean that black people, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend nobody, that black people only do this specific job. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
No, I'll tell you, you might not be old enough, but there used to be a toy when I was a kid called a sit and spin. You sit on it and you kind of, that's what I mean. You're spinning, man. That sounds like a sit and spin to me. I know a lot of my audience ain't old enough for that, but that comment is not favorable to the black community. It just is not. I mean, black jobs, and you're comparing the jobs we're losing to what illegal immigrants are taking. It's just not favorable. No matter, you can say it's not racist, we can work with that, but it's not a favorable thing to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's taken out of context, and only in the aspect of they were talking. If he would have just came out of nowhere and said that, I would agree with you. But the fact that they were talking about black unemployment, and he was talking about how it was going to hurt black people, and he referred to black jobs, I don't necessarily think that what he was saying meant any specific type of job. There's white people, like I said, there's white people that do construction. I think white people, because if I come to your house, Tim, and I say, hey, I can build you a deck, I can redo your living room, it's going to be $20,000, and a Hispanic comes up to you that's here illegally, and he's like, oh, I can do this for $10,000. Who are you going to pick? You're going to pick the Hispanic.
I hear your point, but to me, this is almost like when folks say that the Democratic Party is the racist party to blacks and the Republicans. And I just simply say, like what you're saying, a lot of this stuff, because at the end of the day, minorities know who like them and who don't. I mean, if you're a victim of racism, you know when somebody's treating you right or when somebody's not. And a lot of this stuff, we often say that the Democrats are racist, and most of this stuff is not coming from actual people of color. People of color know who to point the finger at. I don't think most people of color are going to have your interpretation of this. I just don't. I honestly, and maybe I'm wrong, but I honestly believe most people that heard what Trump says that are minorities are going to view it that it was unfavorable to minorities. You're going to get everything from it was unfavorable to it was outright racist. But the way you're saying it, I don't think many people of color are going to view it that favorably like you're saying it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. That's just how I understood it when I watched the debate.
All right. Fair enough.
Hey, I appreciate the time, but I appreciate you. I just want to say I always appreciate you being open to both sides, dude. I appreciate you being understanding on the right, and I would go Democrat this election.
But you don't favor Trump at all, then?
I do. I think Trump's a better candidate. I just can't see myself voting for him because, he's a felon.
All right, you did mention you're the one that's in Pennsylvania. Okay, all right, fair enough. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. As of right now, I think I'm going to sit this one out.
Damn.
Or maybe I might throw it into the third party.
Wow. All right. There probably are other people like you out there. I mean, anybody? Have you talked to anybody that may be in your career field on the force that were normally supporting Trump that had the same mindset?
No, they all still support Trump, 100%. Black, white, Hispanic, it don't matter. Everybody that works with me still supports Trump. I think we have two people that support Biden in my whole
department. Well, but not
my department, in my barracks.
But Trump is offering to give you folks immunity, so that should be a big selling point.
It's not going to happen. I don't think he's not the one that can make that happen.
No, but the fact that he's even talking about it shows he is incredibly supportive of you.
Yeah, but I don't. The president really doesn't control. They have no power. I don't think that they can change what we can and cannot do. And like I said, I think more importantly than a president, I think your senators, your congressmen, and your governor are the most important positions you can elect.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but fact is, he is saying he could do it. I mean, unless you believe he's just lying to the American people, but he is offering to give police immunity.
I think it's just another selling point, Tim.
Wow. All right, fair enough.
All right, brother. Hey, take it easy. Have a great day. It was a pleasure being up here, buddy.
Absolute. Anytime. Look in the comments. Trump says what Trump says, what we want to hear. He lies all day. That's what a typical politician does. I mean, I don't say that Biden don't do the same thing, but I bring this up because the whole claim was that if we put Trump in office, we can get away from electing typical politicians. I think that Trump certainly, even if you favor Trump, one thing I believe that we can clearly say now is he's starting to behave like a typical politician. I mean, there's just so many areas where he is starting to become a typical politician. You know, anytime he's caught telling a lie, well, they all do that. Well, you said he wasn't going to be the one doing it. Now, okay, well, they all do it. And there's a lot of things that Trump does that we bring up that they all do. I mean, even to the point, I had Stevie D in the comments earlier, a friend of the program, talking about, January 6th wasn't that bad of a day. Look at how, cities burned during Black Lives Matter. When you look at how the right views Black Lives Matter as if it's a national atrocity, the fact that that's what you got to compare January 6th to shows you don't think January 6th was that great. Compare it to the Million Man March or the Women's March or Martin Luther King March on Washington. The fact that the only way to make January 6th not look that bad is you got to compare it to what you refer to as cities being burned down shows it was pretty fucking bad. Because there's other protests and marches that were done peacefully that you could use to compare it to. But you're comparing it to what even Trump believes was a terrorist act in regards to Black Lives Matter. That's what you got to compare January 6th to make it not sound that bad, huh? All right. It is your boy, Tim, the handsome liberal. Monday through Friday, 1,300 hours is when you'll find us. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. You know how the program runs. Left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with QAnon. We believe everybody should speak. We are MAGA friendly. Have been that way for all 3 years. Always will be. Always has been. Nevertheless, I'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Thank you, folks, on YouTube also for the support. Real quick, looking in the chat real quick, it's being compared to what the media was calling it mostly. No, the right is comparing it to Black Lives Matter. The media is not comparing January 6th to Black Lives Matter riots. That's predominantly MAGA that is doing that. If you can compare Trump to Nelson Mandela or Martin Luther King, which a lot of MAGA does, you compare Trump to very favorable guys because you think Trump was doing what's right. Then why the hell are you comparing January 6th to Black Lives Matter riots when the towns were burning down? It shows you actually acknowledge what happened on January 6th was pretty damn bad. You just suggested that, well, or better yet, Black Lives Matter was even worse, but you are comparing it to something that many on the right believe Black Lives Matter actions were terroristic. That's the best you can come up with is comparing it to that. So it means you're acknowledging that was a bad day. Looking in the comments, did any building or family business get burned down? Did anyone hurt anyone on January 6th? All I've seen is people walk into government buildings, some led in by security. In regards to asking, did anybody get hurt? I'm assuming you didn't watch the January 6th hearings because Capitol Police state people died from that. People have PTSD. People got their ass whipped. People were bear sprayed. People were hit with flag. Yeah, people got hurt. Yeah, they got hurt. There's a video of a guy being smashed between two doors and bleeding out the mouth, some cop. Yeah, people got hurt. So if you watch it on the right, yeah, you see people like QAnon Shaman being let in peacefully. If you watch the whole Tucker Carlson coverage, nobody got hurt in that. Nobody broke a single window in Tucker Carlson's coverage. But we know windows were broke. We know people were beat. So if you want to point out that what Nancy Pelosi or Liz Cheney released was biased coverage, but you think that what Tucker Carlson released was not biased, I'd submit to you that you are the one that's biased as well. Tucker Carlson didn't show you that whole event. He showed you the parts that made them look good. Just like you're suggesting the media showed you what made them look bad. Tucker Carlson just did the exact same damn thing in reverse, and you're okay with it. Also, FBI instigated it under Biden. Trooper Man, thank you for your support of the program. In regards to the FBI instigating it under Biden, I go back to, and by the way, Biden was not in power on January 6th. He had no control of the FBI. Trump was in control of the FBI. Biden was president-elect on January 6th. Trump was the actual nation's commander-in-chief. So we're trying to believe that Biden somehow, the guy with dementia, slipped and took the government from under Trump. Wow. But I will say, in regards to the FBI instigating it, folks came out to help Trump stop the steal. Flew out, cut buses, drove their cars, rented hotel rooms. They were there for Trump. Trump spoke for a few hours, told him to go to the Capitol building, go peacefully. And somehow, within a 2-mile walk, FBI agents, Antifa, Ray Epps, Black Lives Matter, people that none of these folks knew, were able to convince them to go completely against the orders of the man they actually came to see. Trump said, go peacefully. Why the hell is some unknown FBI agent able to convince you to do otherwise? You're here for Trump, not this dude. I'll submit to you this. If Ray Epps or the FBI was able to instigate this stuff, it really makes Trump supporters look like sheep. You don't even know this guy. And somehow he's able to make you do all this shit. That is the definition of a sheep. You're just following behind a guy. You don't even know who he is. Nobody at that gathering even knew who Ray Epps. How can somebody instigate you to do some shit and you don't even know who they are? That's a sheep. That's a sheep. So, however you want to say it, you don't make the supporters there that day look good at all. Trump said, go peacefully. That is who you're out here to see. That is who you're defending. Why the hell are you listening to Ray Epps? I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that. If Ray Epps can convince you to do something and you don't even know who Ray Epps is from Adam, how is that not a sheep? It is your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I will see you guys tomorrow at 1. Have a